It's a chilly night in western Pennsylvania. Some would say perfect temperatures for late October football with a conference championship on the line. McDonald's High School football Thursday from Mckeesport High School. It's Mckeesport and Gateway. Both teams 5-0 in conference play. The Tigers ranked number 7. The Gators are ranked number 4. For the Gators, they go for their 4th straight conference crown. The second year in a row, they got to get past those Tigers from Mckeesport. Aaron Smith, the star quarterback who's headed to Pitt, comes in on senior night in Mckeesport to try to knock off the home team. Brent Stover alongside Kevin Gorman. We'll hear from Trenny Kuznarek on the sidelines throughout the game. And Kevin, it's for a conference championship, but much more as well.
Well, this game has big playoff implications. The winner will likely get a top 4 seed, which really has a great deal to do with how you get going in the playoffs. So this game has a lot more to do with just a conference championship.
How about the standings in the Quad Southwest? These two teams both unbeaten, as we mentioned, in conference play at 5-0. And then Trinity, Kiski area, Latrobe, Plum, and Fox Chapel. Both of these coaches well aware of the implications and how huge a victory would be here tonight.
Each year we set goals at the beginning of the season, and our first was to win the conference championship. Our second goal is to win the WPIAL, and our third is to win the state championship. And we've won the last 3 section championships, and this is very important to win our 4th in a row.
Last year was the first year we had played Gateway for a while, and they beat us over there at Gateway for the conference championship. And our kids are hungry to go back and see if we can do better this year and take them in this game.
And for Mckeesport on offense, it starts with Travis McBride, Kevin.
Well, this guy's a game breaker. You're going to see him make a lot of big plays tonight if Mckeesport is going to win. Number 22 is the star of the offense. He's rushed for 737 yards and 10 touchdowns, averaging 9.8 yards per carry, and he's really made a big mark on defense.
On the flip side for Gateway, the quarterback who we saw at the outset there is Aaron Smith. Going to be a wideout in college at Pitt, but in the meantime, he's got some work to be done here tonight.
Well, he's one of the epitome of the dual threat quarterback. This is a guy who's passed for over 1,400 yards this season and 12 touchdowns. He has a great arm, but not great size for a high school quarterback. But what he really does well is run and pass while he's on the run. He's done a great job this year. He also is a running threat, 390 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's the guy who's the big playmaker in this offense, whether it's from right behind center or out of the shotgun. Aaron Smith is a threat, and he's a guy that Mckeesport really has to try to stop tonight.
One problem for Aaron Smith and his Gator teammates, Joe Martin, the starting running back, will not play tonight.
No, second year in a row, Gateway comes in against this Mckeesport team without a star tailback. Last year, Justin King was not available for this game. Now Joe Martin is still experiencing some symptoms from a concussion, was not cleared to play today, so they're going to have to turn to Eric Livesey, and the sophomore gets a chance to have a big game and gets a big opponent.
It's going to be a fun one tonight. The Gateway Gators in town for the Mckeesport Tigers. Kickoff next, McDonald's High School football Thursday.
Hi, my name is Amy Willis, and I'm from Mckeesport High School. And I'm Travis McBride, and I'm from Gateway High School. And the kickoff is coming up next on FSN!
Hey, it's Rob Pratt. I've been telling you for years about how nobody beats their place, but now it's bigger and better than ever because it's closeout time, it's scratch and dent time, it's warehouse sale time, it's time for West Penn Billiards.
It's one-of-a-kind floor samples. We've got hundreds and hundreds of them. Pub tables, chairs, stools, and pool tables. We want to get rid of them. Come out and see us, even make us an offer. If it's good enough, you can have it.
And they won't refuse it. Scratch and dent, closeout, 50% and more at West Penn Billiards, North Hills, Murraysville, and Canonsburg.
If you've been injured on the job and collecting work comp benefits, watch out. Your employer's insurance company may try to stop your checks and order you back to your job, even though you know you're still too injured to return to work. If you receive a notice like this, call my law firm immediately. Let us fight the insurance company for you. We'll do everything we can to see that you get the work comp benefits you deserve.
For a free consultation, call Edgar Snyder & Associates, 1-800-94-EDGAR.
And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Discount fares have landed at Pittsburgh International Airport. More new airlines and great deals emailed to your computer. Click on FareSaver to book flights at the best prices. FlyPittsburgh.com is Pittsburgh International Airport.
Want to learn about all the new TVs? Circuit City makes it simple.
I guess you're just what I need.
Come to Circuit City this Sunday from 1 to 6 p.m. for our Home Entertainment Made Simple event. Get product demos on HD TV, home audio, and more, and talk to our experts about building the perfect home theater. Plus, get no interest until January 2007 on all TVs $299 and up. The Home Entertainment Made Simple event, this Sunday at Circuit City.
No need to check airlines from outside of Pittsburgh anymore. At Pittsburgh International Airport, all the new airlines add up to better airfares. Go to flypittsburgh.com and click on FareSaver to book your next flight. Great fares, great airlines, great airport.
McDonald's High School Football Thursday on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Now you know. Call 1-800-909-TRIB to subscribe. By number one Cochran, bigger than ever, better than ever. By Varsity Gold, America's fundraiser of choice. Number one in fundraising for high school football since 1988. And by Coca-Cola, make it real. Mckeesport and Gateway for the Quad Southwest Championship. And we have our number one Cochran keys to the game.
Well, one of the keys to the game for Mckeesport, you're going to look at what they have to do. They have to contain Gateway's speed. And also the kicking game is going to be very important. Gateway has a great kicker. Mckeesport needs to make sure its kicking game is solid. Last year they scored the first touchdown but did not convert. For Gateway, slow down the run game from Mckeesport and establish its own run game, which is going to be very important with Eric Livesey, the sophomore tailback.
Time now for the third member of our team, Trenny Kuznarek. Trenny.
Well, guys, you mentioned how big of a game this is for both teams with the Quad A Southwest title on the line. Well, I had a chance to talk with Mckeesport head coach George Smith, and he told me it's big for a couple of reasons. The biggest, this game will test just how good the Tigers are and how they'll fare in the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, Gateway's head coach Terry Smith told me that this game is so important because it will determine seedings. There's about 8 or 9 really good teams in Quad A that'll compete for that Whitfield title. Seedings will mean a big deal, guys.
Trenny, thanks, and we are set for the opening kickoff. Gateway will put their spread offense on the field first. Terry Smith in his 4th year as the head man for the Gateway Gators.
Well, one of the things, Brent, you're going to see is this Gateway team is capable of running the spread option offense out of the shotgun, but it's just as comfortable running out of an I formation, so you're going to see this team capable of mixing up and doing both offenses tonight.
Chase Martin to kick it off, 5'6", 147, a senior, number 88. And we're underway from Mckeesport High School. David Williams, a fine return man from his own 10. Williams with a seam, and Williams out over the 40-yard line.
Well, David Williams is an explosive return man. This guy has had several returns for 60-plus yards, so that was a big play for Mckeesport to be able to contain him on the opening kick.
30-yard return, and the quarterback is Aaron Smith as we take one more look at David Williams, who's had a couple brought back for touchdowns in the punt game as well. Aaron Smith, 6 foot 178, a senior. 81 for 161 for 1,410 yards. 12 touches, 7 interceptions. 3 wide is how they open up with Ditto the motion man. He's the tight end. On the ground first, it's Eric Livesey for a couple of yards on first down. Varsity Gold brings us the starters on offense for Gateway. Smith, the quarterback. Behind him, Livesey and Austin. Williams, Bradley, and Ditto are the pass catchers. And up front, Stevens, Littlejohn, Cornelius, Jones, and Hannah. Second down upcoming for the Gateway offense, just underway from Mckeesport High School. Both teams 5-0 in league play. And Gateway going for their 4th straight conference crown. Football at the 43. Smith to throw. He's in trouble. Livesey out of the backfield at the 45, and he's knocked out of the 46-yard line. Starting defense brought to you by Varsity Gold. For Mckeesport, very, very good unit. They are somewhat undersized, but play with a lot of heart. And that according to their head coach, Wheaton, Gooden, Roshon, and Becoate. The backers, McBride, Keys, Leonard, Kopolovich, and Cromerdie, Doiley, and Robinson in the secondary. By the way, you see Kopolovich. He's the twin brother of Dan Kopolovich, the starting quarterback for Mckeesport.
And they've got a couple big-timers on that defense, most notably Anthony Leonard, a West Virginia recruit. He's a big-time athlete, and he's going to be a key for this Mckeesport defense tonight. 3rd down 6, and Smith on the rollout. Far sideline, underthrown by about 4 yards. And he's intended to target
was John Ditto, the tight end, and it's punt time early on, a 3 and out for the Gateway offense.
That was a critical drive for Mckeesport to come out here and get a stop right away, because this Gateway offense, when it is clicking, can be very explosive. They've got so many playmakers. They've probably got a half dozen Division I prospects on that offense alone. So for Mckeesport to come out here and get that first stop, they've kind of set the tempo of the game. Now they get a chance to put their offense on the field. And this is an offense that's averaging 417 yards per game.
Lichtenstein punted it off the right side of his foot. Bounces inside the 25-yard line. The officials mark it right at the 26, and that's where Mckeesport will start on offense. As you see, Travis McBride, fine running back for this team, and Robert Doiley, they were the deep men. Doiley is wide out, McBride works out of the backfield. Dan Kopolovich is the starting quarterback for the Tigers. As you look at the numbers, 22 of 43 for 464. 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. Very good running quarterback as well. McBride in motion. Fullback Leonard off the right side out near the 30-yard line for Anthony Leonard. Starting offense for Mckeesport, brought to you by Varsity Gold. I mentioned the quarterback is Dan Kopolovich. And in the backfield, the wingbacks in this flexbone set, Travis McBride and Warren Waite. The tailback is Anthony Leonard. You could also call him a fullback, actually. Jermale Cromerdie and Anthony Becoate are the pass catchers. You see the boys up front.
And the key to this entire offense is Leonard. Without the fullback in this offense, it really does not work to quite the same extent.
And a penalty called. Dead ball foul.
And Mckeesport found that out the hard way, because Leonard was not available for the season opener against North Hills, which is Mckeesport's lone loss. And the offense really just was not working.
False start on the offense. Still second down.
So move it back 5 yards. And we'll take a look at the starting defense for Gateway, brought to you by Varsity Gold. Up front, Stevens, Mason, and Murphy. The linebackers, Lohheide, Latronica, Hale, and Binion. And in the secondary, Sadler, King, Livesey, and David Williams.
There's a lot of playmakers on that defense as well. The guy that gets a lot of notoriety is Dan Lohheide, the Pitt recruit. But watch for that sophomore, Shane Hale. He's a guy who's got a chance to be a really big-time player.
Kopolovich to Leonard. Open hole across the 35. Ankle tackled at the 39, but a first down run and a 15-yard pickup for Anthony Leonard.
Big play there by David Williams on the be able to trip him up, because Leonard had one man to beat. You're going to see Leonard on this fullback dive, and this is a guy's a big guy, 6'2", 220 pounds, and he can run. You're going to see a great athlete in Leonard, and it's just he's what makes this offense work, because with the triple option, you have a chance for the dive. You have the quarterback can keep, or you can toss it to one of the pitchmen. And so that's what, he makes everything click. And if Anthony Leonard can have a big game, this Mckeesport offense can really get rolling.
First down, it's Leonard again, and he's stacked up. And stood up and taken right down, little or no gain on first down. James Murphy, the defensive end, makes the hit.
And that's a play where you're going to see just how much of a sleight of hand is involved in this offense. Kopolovich actually kept on that play, but this is one where he's going to be able to stuff that ball in the running back's tummy, and you're going to see him a lot of times pull that right back out and keep. And Kopolovich does a great job of it. And this is a guy who's a very intelligent player. We'll talk about that later, but he does a great job of making the defense keep guessing the entire game.
I've been fooled once. See if he can keep me guessing. Kopolovich under center, second down 9. They give him a pickup of 1, his first pass of the game. And down he goes, a quarterback sack for the Gateway defense. Farron Mason, the nose tackle, in there first.
Great pressure by Gateway's defense. And you're going to see this is why Mckeesport doesn't pass very often. The pass protection just isn't there, and Mason is able to come right through and drag Kopolovich down. But Mckeesport does not throw the ball a lot. As we mentioned at the top, 22 completions and 43 attempts. But out of those 22 completions, 14 have been for touchdowns. So usually Mckeesport finds something and they see something, they're able to exploit it. But in that time, they got exploited.
Third down and long. Kopolovich keeps across the 40, and they blow this one dead. And we'll see what the infraction is. Again, he faked the fullback Leonard. And really faked out the Gateway defense that time. Nice gain, but the penalty.
Prior to snap, offside, on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
So move it up 5 yards. It'll be third down and 13 for the Tigers.
Well, that's where Gateway had a chance to put Mckeesport on its heels, and now the Gators gave them kind of a little bit of break here. You're going to see a little guy there jump, just hedge. I believe that was Mason up front.
Yep, Theron Mason, who made a tackle, the sack just moments ago.
He was looking for sack number 2 on that play and just got a little too jumpy.
Early start. The wide out the near way is Kyle Crane. On third down, 13. Kopolovich keeps and gets tripped up as he crosses the 40 to the 41. Well short of the first down, and it's punt time for Mckeesport. So each team early on, Kevin, kind of feeling the other one out.
And that's, you know, this is a game that last year they came in the 2 highest scoring teams in the WPIL, and the score was 21-9 in the final. So these 2 teams were averaging nearly 50 points. Once again, they come in after kind of running rampant through the Quad Southwest Conference. But you're going to see 2 good defenses tonight, and I think that's going to be what kind of game we're going to see, is 2 great defensive teams.
McBride punts it away. And not very deep. Takes a Gateway hop right at the 45. Gateway on offense for the second time tonight. Scoreless on FSN Pittsburgh.
Morning! What a day it's been already. I got up very... Barb's a natural morning person. For me, morning's about as natural as my hair color. Do you scrapbook? No, but I found a way to get through. Oh, McDonald's. I could really use some coffee. Do you can't buy home? And I've got peanut butter.
Get going with McDonald's. From McGriddles, McMuffin sandwiches, to delicious breakfast platters, no one has more breakfast choices.
Have a great day, and you have a great day too!
Every Saturday night, catch the hard-hitting quarter-to-quarter action on Comcast as the area's best in high school football square off for the chance to be #1. Don't miss your favorite team Saturdays at 7 p.m. on FYI Channel 11, and then again in the Your Town folder of On Demand from Comcast. High school football has never been this hot. If you love football, you'll love Comcast High School Football. Your teams, your games on Comcast.
7-11 left in the first quarter here at Mckeesport High School. Brent Stover and Kevin Gorman. Donald's High School football Thursday in a packed house here in Mckeesport tonight, and Gateway back on offense for the second time.
And maybe we'll get a chance to see Gateway open the offense up a little bit. Last time they tried to stick to the run. This time, you know, they have a couple guys wide, a single back set, and so you might see Aaron Smith come out and try to throw the ball.
Football at the 46. They'll keep it on the ground. And that's Charles King. He's also a wideout, but with the injury to starting running back Joe Martin, everybody gets switched around just a little bit, and he gets his first carry of the night.
Well, with Joe Martin being out, that's something that really kind of changes the complexion of this offense, because he was having a couple really big games, a couple 100-yard games back-to-back. Livesey was coming off a separated shoulder. He's, you know, finally getting healthy. But Charles King also gives them a little bit of a different look because he's a small, shifty back.
Second down, 8. Ditto the motion man. Lines up. They make it a strong side left. Livesey in motion near side. Option left for Smith. Keeps it. Makes the tackle. The 40. And down to the 30-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. A big-time run for Aaron Smith.
And this is where I believe Aaron Smith is at his most dangerous, is running that option, because he's a guy who has the ability to make quick decisions on the run. You see him here just break left. He has a run man, a pitch man to throw the ball to, but he actually keeps this one and takes a nice shot by Travis McBride. And you're going to see from this angle, I don't think Aaron Smith really ever considered pitching, but the threat was there, and he does a nice job of faking that and getting to the outside. And what he does is he does a nice job, but when he gets into the open field, he really knows how to open up his stride and really makes him a lot faster in the open field.
22-yard pickup for Aaron Smith. And a timeout on the field. We'll keep it right here. Gateway calls a timeout after the 22-yard run from quarterback Aaron Smith, and gives us a chance to talk about the differences between these two offenses here tonight.
Well, they're two of the more unique offenses you're going to see in Western Pennsylvania football. Gateway before the season had switched to a spread option offense, much like we saw Utah against Pitt in the bowl game last year. where they can go to a spread attack, but Smith has the option of running the ball, throwing off the run. It was something that worked very well for them early, but when teams kind of sat back on their defense, whereas you're going to see Mckeesport, they run this triple option flex bone. They used to be a wishbone. Now you're just seeing a single back in the backfield, and it's really more of a sleight of hand misdirection thing. It's going to cause Gateway to play assignment defense. Every man is assigned a certain player they have to watch. You're going to see you're going to see Gateway really have to come up and play against their guys and be very disciplined on defense, and you're going to see the athletes really match up in this game. That's what's going to be exciting and fun about this game, is you're going to see a lot of talent on here, and they're going to have to stop each other.
1st and 10, Gateway out of the timeout. A one-back look. And the game is to King off the left side. And he is drilled and hit for a 2-yard loss.
There was a big-time hit there, I believe. It looked like it was Travis McBride that came from the outside.
Well, they've got some good linebackers, good corners as well. McBride was there, Anthony Leonard as well. Both those guys play both ways and very good.
McBride was in on that tackle, and it looked like you also saw Lawrence Gooden, the senior defensive tackle, in on that stop. McBride is as good as he's been offensively. Where I really think he shined this year is on defense. He's a guy who a lot of schools are recruiting as an athlete because he's just as effective on defense at strong safety or outside linebacker.
2nd down, Smith to throw. Looks right, got a man. John Ditto. And they call it a catch. John Ditto with a very nice catch, laying out on the turf on the post pattern, and it's down to the 16-yard line, and a 1st down for the Gateway Gators. We'll take another look.
When you see Ditto come across your field here from the tight end position and just makes a catch, you usually only see receivers make, and the reason for that is because Ditto is a guy who played receiver last year. He's kind of grown into this tight end position. It's a switch they've made at midseason, and he seemed to flourish in it.
I'll say this, Kevin, if they had instant replay, this wouldn't be a 1st down. Fairly certain he didn't catch it. There's Dan Lohide, the backup fullback, straight up the gut for a gain of a couple.
Well, it was a call that was booed, and Lohide, you take a look at him. He's a guy who's made his reputation as a linebacker. He's going to Pitt on scholarship, but he's also a dangerous player on offensive fullback.
2nd down for the Gateway Gators. Knocking on the door early on. 4:41 left opening quarter. Backfield in the offset eye. The deep man is David Williams. And again, a dead ball penalty.
It appears that Mckeesport, this may be against Mckeesport.
We'll wait for the official signal here.
Prior to snap, offsides on a defense, still 2nd down.
So 5 more yards for the Gateway offense here as they continue to move. The big play on the drive, the 22-yard run on the quarterback keeper by Aaron Smith. And now the penalty puts this one inside the 10-yard line and down to the 6.
Well, it looks like that might also give them a 1st down, and you got 1st and goal at the 6-yard line now.
1st down and goal. Smith under center, runs that option left, pitch back Williams. Nice catch by Williams, cuts inside, into the end zone, touchdown Gateway.
David Williams, you see just how explosive he can be, and how we ranked him our number 2 all-purpose back in the entire WPIL. He's a guy who plays receiver, but he also plays defensive back. You're going to see this one might be called back, though. There's a flag on the play, but David Williams just showed a glimpse of how fast he can be and how explosive he can be on that play.
Let's see what the infraction is.
Holding on the offense. Penalty occurred in the end zone, being forced from the goal line. Be 1st and 10 from the 10.
Well, there you have it. Terry Smith cannot be pleased with that one. They had 6, but take those 6 points off the board for Terry Smith's squad.
No, and the one break they got is that the holding occurred in the end zone, so it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which only moves it back to the 10. Rather than had it occurred on the line of scrimmage, they'd be at the 15.
Split receivers, backfield in the eye. Option right this time. Back to Williams. Gets it down to the 5-yard line, A pickup of 5 for David Williams, who moments ago scored a touchdown, but it was taken off the board.
And Aaron Smith did a nice job of drawing the defenders to him and then pitching it out to Williams out wide on that play. As you're going to see, the defense kind of collapses around Aaron Smith, who's known to keep the ball in these plays, but he has the heads-up awareness to pitch it to Williams and get him a couple extra yards on that play. Now it looks like they're inside the 5, well, about a yard shy of the 5.
We'll call it second down and goal from the 6. Smith keeps it, and not much doing. Anthony Leonard, the first man there for the Tiger defense.
And the one downfall of running the option against this Mckeesport defense is that this is a team that practices against it every single day, so they're not going to be really fooled by the option run. They're playing assignment football as well, and you're going to see Leonard come up and do a nice job of grabbing Smith by the ankles and dropping him for a, making a big stop for no gain apparently.
So the football stays at the 6. Third down and goal now for the Gators. It's back to Williams. Tucks it inside the 5, pushing his way forward and down to the 2-yard line, but short of the goal line. And an interesting play call coming up now on 4th and goal.
That one was interesting as well because it appeared, when you see Williams take the pitch here, he appears to be either looking for a pass or looking for a seam. He chose to take the seam and get there inside the 5-yard line, close to the 2. But that's something that now that all of a sudden they have to determine where they're going to go. Appears they're going to go with a field goal with Lichtenstein, who's one of the better kickers in the WPIL.
No doubt about it. 3 field goals so far this year for Lichtenstein, a fine soccer player as well. He's a senior. 20 PATs and 3 field goals. He did miss a 45-yarder last week, but essentially this is an extra point from the right hash. And he knocks it through. Gateway gets the first score of the game. It's a field goal, a 20-yarder from Lichtenstein. 3-0, 2:07 left, opening quarter.
Show up at the new #1 Cochran Nissan showroom on West Liberty Avenue, and we'll show you unparalleled choices, unbelievable prices, unmatched finance options, all the things #1 Cochran is known for.
It's showtime. Let us show you our stuff.
When the 2 of you becomes the 4 of you, there's all the more reason for Highmark. With the most doctors and hospitals, we'll help you make it through the good breaks, bad breaks, ups and downs, smiles and tears. So welcome to the family, and have a greater hand in your health.
Back at Mckeesport, 2:08 left. First quarter, some young fans enjoying the view. 3-0 early on of Gateway drawing first blood. That play, 10 plays, 50 yards, took 5:03 off the clock.
And I think that was a huge stop for Mckeesport. They held them to a field goal when one touchdown was negated. But Gateway started inside Mckeesport territory, had a couple big plays, had a chance to go up 7-0. Mckeesport was able to hold them to 3. I think should be a confidence booster for this Tiger defense.
Lichtenstein to kick it away, and Mckeesport back on offense for the second time. Terry Smith, the head coach for Gateway, telling me this week it's key for us to establish the run and eat some of the clock, because we know Mckeesport is going to be doing the same thing with their predominantly running offense. Nice kick by Lichtenstein, and Doiley has to down it in the end zone.
And that's one of the things.
From the 20.
One of the things that makes him such a good kicker is his ability to boot that ball into the end zone, because once it crosses the plane, it is not returnable.
Tomorrow night on a special edition of McDonald's High School Football Thursday, we head to Penn Hills to cover the Indians' battle against the Wolverines of Woodland Hills. That's tomorrow night at 7:30, only on FSN Pittsburgh, sponsored by the Pittsburgh Tribune Review and Coca-Cola. Kevin, you and I will be there, Trenny as well, and Craig Wolfley will be joining us on the sideline for that game.
Well, we saw there was a full moon out, so I guess that's what got Wolf out. He'll be howling tomorrow.
1st and 10 from the 20. And to give, here's to Leonard. And he's got a first down out over the 30-yard line. Anthony Leonard, the big fullback, who really in this offense, you can kind of call him a tailback as well, because he's the only guy back there, Kevin.
He really is, and he's such an important part of this offense, not just because of his speed and physical play, but also because he sets the tone. You know, Terry Smith said, you know, we have to limit his carries because that's the key ingredient, that fullback. If you can't stop the fullback, you're done for the night. Might as well just pack your bags and go home. And so far, Anthony Leonard has been getting the better of this Gateway defense, so he's really setting the tone for Mckeesport, and what he's going to do is open up the play for the wingbacks when they get their chance.
This time it's up the gut for Travis McBride, and another first down out to the 46-yard line.
I think what you saw Travis McBride line up in that fullback position that time and take the inside handoff, and they go with a little bit of misdirection. But this McBride, you see him averaging 9.8 yards per carry, but he comes out of the fullback position, which is something they did against North Hills, and you're going to see his shiftiness. Wait till you see him get in the open field. He's another burner, but he's a guy who is capable of playing fullback, tailback, wingback, whatever you want to call it. He can play those positions.
This time Kopolovich keeps, and he's got an open hole. Breaks the tackle inside the 40, inside the 20. Dan Kopolovich into the end zone. Touchdown, Mckeesport. "55-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, and the Tigers take the lead 6-3.
Well, that's what Dan Kopolovich does so well, where you see him fake the handoff, and then he just keeps him. When he finds that seam, this is a guy who does a great job of reading the defense, getting to the open field, and then just beating. You know, he just ran past one of the speed burners on this field, and David Williams, and he really exploited why Gateway is missing Joe Martin so much. Joe Martin be a strong safety back there. Now they've had to change a lot of different guys around with Martin being out of the game. They've had to put, David Williams is back there. They have Brandon Livesey moving around. Bill Binion is an outside linebacker. So they've had to shift things around, and Dan Kopolovich just exploited Gateway's defense.
And now the officials discussing something here. We've got a penalty as they move the ball back to the 19-yard line.
It appears to be a celebration penalty.
Chase Martin is the kicker, number 88 you see there, and some confusion on the field. We'll call it a celebration penalty. I never saw a flag get thrown, but the officials decided it was excessive. So a 35-yard extra point, and it misses wide left, and that could come back to haunt Mckeesport. Tune in Sunday night at 10 for FSN Live Steelers Edition, presented by Busch Light for the best in black and gold coverage. Join Rob King, Don Chilkin, and Craig Wolfley as they wrap up the week in Steelers football. Sundays beginning at 10, only on FSN Pittsburgh. So they missed the long extra point, a 35-yarder for Chase Martin, who's also an excellent kicker, similar to Lichtenstein from Gateway, and that really could hurt them down the road here. It's now 6-3.
You see how quickly Mckeesport can get on the scoreboard. 3 plays, 80 yards, less than a minute. So this is a Mckeesport offense that can be very explosive at times, but that missed extra point also can be very costly, especially when now it's instead of being a 4-point lead, it's a 3-point lead. Gateway has an excellent kicker, and let's remind you, one of the keys to the game, George Smith did say, was our kicking game. That's something they couldn't afford to have a missed extra point, can't afford to have missed field goals. Those are things that have cost the Tigers, and especially in Week 9 in past seasons.
So Martin to kick it off. 55-yard touchdown run moments ago from Kopolovich, and both quarterbacks making their presence felt with their legs here in the first quarter. 1:10 left in the opening period. 6-3 now. The homestanding Tigers with the lead. This one will be taken at the 10 by Smith. Smith up the right hash and gets absolutely blown up by number 64. And that's Sean Patel. What a hit on special teams. And that'll fire the crowd and your teammates up.
Yeah, that's what they call one of those ooh hits, when it makes the entire crowd stand up and say ooh. And Sean Patel, only a sophomore, came down and gave Aaron Smith a licking on that play. And this is why a lot of teams don't let their quarterback return kickoffs or punts when they take shots like that.
Patel doesn't play a whole lot on anything but special teams. And if you're a guy like that, that makes your week right there. It makes your season.
It makes every day of practice worth it when you get a chance to come out and make a play like that in a varsity game on a Thursday or Friday night.
So Gateway back on offense. The motion man is David Williams. And they'll run the football for Eric Livesey, and he gets stood up. Darrell Robinson, the safety, coming up to make the initial hit.
And Robinson's a guy who had to overcome an ankle injury, had a high ankle sprain early in the season. He's really come on strong late in the year since he came back. He's really solidified this Mckeesport defense. When you have a guy like that, 6'1", 190, you're able to put him back as the safety, kind of your center fielder, and he can come up and stick people like that. It gives you a lot of luxuries.
6'1" and 190 for the senior.
I've been very impressed how the blue jerseys are flying to the ball tonight. That's what Mckeesport is kind of known for, its high-scoring offense, but this is also one of the Whitfield's best defenses, averaging only 119.6 yards allowed this season.
Williams in motion left to right. Smith deep over the middle. He's got Williams, but it's broken up.
And Williams is looking for a flag on that play. It appears somebody got a hand on him as he was breaking on that post pattern. But, well, we do see a flag, but I don't think it was on pass interference.
Well, Robert Doiley was in coverage, and he's a very, very good corner. His head coach, George Smith, loves these two corners in Cromerdie and Doiley.
And you're going to see Aaron Smith had all kinds of pass protection, and Williams was able to get open there, but just not being able to connect on that play.
Smith had all day to throw, something he didn't have in the game against TJ just a couple of weeks ago. You watch video of that, I'll tell you what, they were all over him. This time he rolls right, he's going to tuck it, and down he goes. Quarterback sack for Anthony Leonard. His coach calls him the emotional leader of the team.
He really is, and he's a great physical player, and he seems to be really fired up about playing this game.
We got a timeout on the field. Mckeesport is fired up in the first quarter. They find the end zone first in this one, and they've got the early 6-3 lead. Aaron Smith in trouble when he sees number 7.
When we talked during the season, I talked to him. I want to talk about how the Bears are doing. He wants to talk about Wildcat football.
Ryan gets this grin, and it's as if he's done exactly what he was meant to do in life.
You know, when you're tackling, you're not straight up. You're bending at your knees, you're ripping through and grabbing cloth, and explosion is going to drive the ball carrier to the ground. And the harder, the better.
I'm a food truck man, that's all I dream. I ain't got no boundaries, I don't compromise. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford truck.
If you've had your eye on a dependable Ford SUV, now's the time to buy. Because with bonus cash, you'll get $2,500 cash back. Yeah, $2,500 cash back on the new completely redesigned 2006 Explorer, featuring first-in-class roll stability control and the class exclusive intelligent safety system standard.
Visit your neighborhood Ford store today.
You cheer every play, every first down, every end zone celebration. You bust your tonsils play after play and scream and shout like you've got a 260-pound linebacker on your tail. Then throw down a cold as ice Coke and get right back at it. Why? Because you can. Because you have to. Coca-Cola Football Town, USA.
Introducing Trib Total Media. We're more than daily and weekly newspapers. We're also radio, websites, magazines, penny savers, and television. So whatever you want, you can get it from us. Trib Total Media. We deliver newspapers and more.
Back at Weigel Schaefer Stadium, Mckeesport and Gateway as we head for the second quarter. On FSN Pittsburgh, 6-3 the home team. It's punt time after the quarterback sack. Lichtenstein stands inside his own 5. Doiley and McBride back deep. Short punt hangs up there, and Doiley makes the catch at the 41 of Gateway. So good field position upcoming for Mckeesport.
I think Gateway was willing to give up the field position so that Doiley couldn't get a big return. But you're going to see here, look at the difference in rushing yards for Mckeesport, 94-35. A lot of that came on that big run, 55-yard touchdown run by Kopolovich. Gateway 18 passing yards. Mckeesport hasn't attempted a pass yet, but they're tied with 3 first downs apiece. We'll see if Mckeesport can add to its totals on the ground.
Well, Mckeesport has won 6 straight games after an opening loss to North Hills. In those 6 games, they've been outscoring opponents 52-3. Coach's concern is that he hasn't played a close game in a long time. Kopolovich gets free again. He's inside the 20 and down inside the 15-yard line for Dan Kopolovich.
Well, Dan Kopolovich is really one of the things that's been the key to this offense is how it's been clicking throughout the season. They didn't play great competition, but the offense is really running on all cylinders, and he's the reason why. This guy's the general. He's running the show, and he's done a great job of reading this Gateway defense and finding the openings and really taking advantage. You're just going to see him break through that line, and then he does a great job of reading his blockers, following, jumping to the outside, and getting another first down. He's done a terrific job so far tonight of running that football.
Averaging 7.1 yards per carry coming in. Got 29 on that one. He's way above his average here tonight. Misdirection play from McBride. Down to the 9-yard line before he's brought down by Dan Lohide. Let's head down to Trenny Kuznerek. Trenny.
Well, guys, George Smith has had a ton of success while coaching here at Mckeesport. Since 1982, he's had 59 kids get Division I scholarships, and why not? He has the 10th best winning percentage of high school coaches in Western Pennsylvania. Coach said the key to having good kids are having kids who are multi-sport athletes. He said guys who play basketball, baseball, they're committed to athletics as a whole, and that makes it better not only for the school, but for the football team, guys.
Kopolovich up the middle and into the end zone. Skipped out of one tackle and took it in untouched after that. And Mckeesport right now is on fire.
And Kopolovich has just been doing a great job of running this offense with precision and really doing a terrific job of exploiting this Gateway defense. Just finding the holes and running through them is really all it's all about.
Dan Kopolovich with his second touchdown of the night. Less than a minute deep into the second quarter, and it's 12-3 Mckeesport. Chase Martin on for the extra point. And this one, he knocks through. 13-3 Mckeesport. All of a sudden, Gateway with their backs against the wall. 11:09 left before halftime.
Want to save thousands on a new Toyota truck or SUV? Then come to Davis Toyota Trucktown, where Toyota trucks and SUVs are always at our lowest price. Now through Monday, Toyota Tacomas in Davis Toyota Trucktown are starting at $14,889. Toyota Tundras are as low as $218 a month with $3,000 in customer cash. Loaded V8 4Runners are as low as $299 a month with $3,000 in customer cash. Toyota Trucktown only at Davis Toyota, across from Ross Park Mall, McKnight Road.
Every Saturday night, catch the hard-hitting quarter-to-quarter action on Comcast as the area's best in high school football square off for the chance to be #1. Don't miss your favorite team Saturdays at 7 p.m. on FYI Channel 11, and then again in the Your Town folder of On Demand from Comcast. High school football has never been this hot. If you love football, you'll love Comcast High School Football. Your teams, your games on Comcast.
3 plays, 42 yards, 44 seconds, and another touchdown for the Tigers, and another one for quarterback Dan Kopolovich. 88 yards and 2 scores on the ground so far for the quarterback.
Well, he's done a fantastic job, as we've been talking about, running that triple option flex bone offense. Anthony Leonard set the tone. Now Dan Kopolovich is taking advantage of what the defense is doing a great job of reading and finding where the holes are and running right through them. Touchdown runs of 45 and 8 yards tonight.
Martin kicks it off, and it's a pretty good one, taken by Smith. And Smith fumbled it. Who's got it? Gateway falls on top of it, but a scare there for quarterback Aaron Smith. Hey, DVDs of tonight's McDonald's High School Football Thursday game and all games from our 2005 season coverage are available at www.gametapes.com for just $19.99 each. Be a nice keepsake for parents or fans of high school football here in Western PA.
The one thing Gateway's failed to do is really establish a running attack. Would not be surprised to see them maybe go to the air now that they're trailing by 10 points. But that's what Gateway really has to do, is kind of establish that run and try to get the ball moving upfield.
Football at the 20. Smith on the keeper. And he gets a couple of yards as he calls his own number.
And you're really seeing Anthony Leonard, a very spirited game from this guy. We've talked about him being the emotional leader, but he's also a big-time player, a West Virginia recruit, and they like to say big-time players show up big in the biggest games. So far, Anthony Leonard on defense has been a big-time player for Mckeesport, and probably the biggest player on the field early in this game.
So they'll bring up second down and long, and Gateway again with that spread formation, and they like to use Smith and his strong arm. He throws almost every pattern very well, but he also runs well. This time he has 4 wide in the pattern. And he has to fall on that one. A miscommunication perhaps that time between center and quarterback. Not sure what the issue was.
No, that's something that Aaron Smith really has to get this down. It's the second time he's lost control of the football in a matter of just a couple of plays. This time just on the exchange, and he fumbles it, but that's something where they had set up with trips to the right and ditto and single coverage to the left. So they were really looking for the pass play, and Aaron Smith just puts them back further in the hole. And now this makes this third down play so much more crucial than it really was.
Ditto versus Doiley on the near side. As you look at Smith, he's headed to pick to play wide receiver. Works out of the shotgun. I mentioned that matchup near side, a good one to watch. Doiley the corner, Ditto the wide out. But they go far side instead, and the pass is caught by Williams into the open field. David Williams is at the 20. One man to beat, and he beat him and into the end zone for a touchdown, David Williams.
Well, David Williams has been one of the more electrifying players in WPL this season. More of a reserve role last season. This year, he's really come onto the scene big for Gateway. He has coming into the game, 5 touchdowns to 60-plus. Make it 6. That one was an 80-yarder. And David Williams, you see Aaron Smith just sit back and fire a bullet that really landed right in David Williams' chest, and he had to kind of catch it, hang on to it. But once you get to the open field, look at him outrace Travis McBride, one of the fastest players in the field, and he beats him by a step, and David Williams finds his way into the end zone. Terrific job by Williams on that play.
82 yards for the pass play. Lichtenstein for the point after. And he knocks it right down the middle. We got ourselves a 13-10 game. How about another look at that 82-yard touchdown from Smith to David Williams?
Watch Aaron Smith throw a bullet that hits Williams in the chest. He bobbles it, keeps his eyes on that ball though, and is able to pull it in. Then he just goes off to the races. It's him and Travis McBride. And let's see, you're going to see David Williams open it up and beat McBride to the punch for his 7th touchdown catch of the season. He was averaging 26.7 yards a catch coming into this game. He's only going to increase that with that big touchdown play right there, 82-yarder.
David Williams came in, as you look at that brief drive, 3 plays and 79 yards. Williams came in, 18 catches for 480 and 6 touchdowns. And he's their best pure receiver, but they've got 3 others as well. And Terry Smith has a little bit of everything with these 4 main pass catchers for the Gators.
He really does, and that's the one thing they've done a nice job of spreading it around. When you look at Ditto, Bradley, Williams, and King, all have 15 catches or more. Nobody has more than 25. One thing Gateway is going to take from that play is there was a roughing the kicker penalty on the extra point kick. So, this is another chance for Gateway to take advantage of Lichtenstein's leg and put this one in the end zone and make Mckeesport drive in 80 yards if they have a chance.
9:23 left, second quarter, and we have seen some offense so far. Each team got a slow start. Each had a punt on their first drive, but since then we've seen a lot of offense. Mckeesport a 13-10 lead as Lichtenstein gets set to kick it off. This is for the Quad Southwest Championship. Both teams coming in 5-0 in league play. This is the final regular season game for Gateway. For Mckeesport, they've got one more. It's going to be on Monday against Highlands, a makeup game. So they've only played 7 games before tonight.
And you see Lichtenstein, he has some college possibilities, a lot of Ivy League schools. Patriot League schools. Also, schools showing interest include Notre Dame, Maryland, Pitt, Syracuse. For kickers in high school football, it's hard for them to get Division I scholarships, but this is a guy who's going to get some looks. And the better the season he has, the better his chances of getting a scholarship.
And it's an onside kick. We'll see if they fool the Tigers. They did. It's recovered by number 20, Cameron Sadler, and the Tigers were not expecting that one.
No, I think they thought there was going to be a for sure kick into the end zone, just like the rest of us were thinking. And Lichtenstein does a nice job. This is a former soccer player, 3-year player on the soccer team. He does a nice job of just doing a little onside kick, gives it a little bit of a love tap, puts some nice spin on the ball, and it bounces right into the hands of Sadler, who's only a sophomore, but he's going to be one of Gateway's star players. He's the starting cornerback. He's a guy that Terry Smith just says loves football, is a great football player. Not a big guy, only 5'6", but Terry Smith, being a small guy himself, loves those type of players and thinks that Cameron Sadler has a chance to be a great one at Gateway, and he made a great play there that gives Gateway a chance to get back on the scoreboard again.
And the officials will tell us something here.
Recovered by the kicking team, 10 yards beyond the kicking spot. First down for Gateway.
So just to clear anything up, that kick did go 10 yards. And for a kicker like Lichtenstein, is the hero at the moment, it's all about that second hop. The first hop is not the big deal. It's getting that nice pop up in the air on the second hop, and he got exactly that. Perfectly catchable for Sadler.
He did a wonderful job of not just getting that second hop, but the way it bounced, it actually bounced toward 2 Gateway players, so they had double the chances of getting that ball.
Let's hear from Trenny Kuznarek. Trenny.
Well, guys, I am down on the sidelines with a Steeler, Hines Ward, at his first ever Western Pennsylvania high school football game. What do you think of the atmosphere of high school football here?
It's exciting. I guess this is the game of the week, and the turnout's amazing. I mean, you got the season ticket holders over here in the student section over there, and the guys, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Some of those guys look like they can play in the NFL.
Heard you saying that maybe Mike Logan should go out there and coach his old alma mater, Mckeesport.
Yeah.
I think that they've Mike might be the bad omen here. All of a sudden they were up, and now only a 3-point lead.
Yeah, when we got here, Mckeesport was up, and then they just scored. I think Gateway scored a long bomb, and then they just onside kicked. So I think me and Mike need to go to the other side of the field or something and put the bad luck on Gateway.
Does it ever cease to amaze you how big football is in Western Pennsylvania, be it high school, college, or pro?
I mean, it's real big here. I mean, you got a lot of great Hall of Famers who come from Western PA, and they take a lot of pride in football. That's why I think, and it just carries on from high school to university and to the Steelers. I mean, wherever you go, I mean, everybody just loves football, and it's just great to be a part, to come out here and feel the high school atmosphere.
Speaking of the Steelers, a big game for you guys on Sunday against Cincinnati. How much bigger is this game now than it was maybe a year or even 2 years ago with the way Cincinnati is playing?
Oh, they're playing very well. I mean, we like to approach each game and think each game is a big game, but considering we're 3-2, we're a game behind them in our division. It's a big game for us because it's the first game in our division. So for us, Coach Kyle's always preached about let's win our division and everything else will take care of itself. So this is our first game, so we're looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be a challenge to go down to Cincinnati and beat a great team, but if we just go out and continue to play well and just execute the game plan like we're supposed to, we'll be fine.
All right, best of luck on Sunday and enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks, Hines. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
Jon Wheaton with the quarterback sack, the 190-pound senior. And Aaron Smith, he had great field position moments ago, but right there he loses 11.
Well, Aaron Smith is a kind of a master of improvisation, and this is what he tries to do, is he tries to improvise on this play. The play breaks down, he has 2 defenders coming at him, and he tries to slip through them, but he really has nowhere to go, and Wheaton does a great job of reading him and continuing on and taking Smith down. And George Smith talked, as Trenny said, about having those multiple sport athletes. Wheaton is one of the many guys that plays on Mckeesport's basketball team, which is a big reason why the basketball team's so good as well.
Out of the shotgun once again is Smith. Got plenty of time. Now Crumbles on it. Rolling out. Near side pass. Bobbled and caught by Charles King at the sideline. Good concentration that time by little number 6, Charles King.
Hey, Charles King did a great job of getting this ball into his possession because that was bobbled a couple times. Like we said, he 15 catches for 169 yards. And Smith once again has to escape some pressure and does a nice job of not only getting away from the pressure, but finding an open man downfield. And he gets the ball to King, who hangs on to that despite having a defensive back draped all over him.
So that gets some of the yardage back. Still 3rd down and long.
Right now, we're seeing Gateway go back more toward that spread option offense. You're going to see them with 4 receivers wide to the right now.
5 in all on 3rd and 17. He's got a man and a diving catch by Corey Bradley, but the officials say he was out of bounds.
Corey Bradley is not happy with that call. This guy is Gateway's best possession receiver. You're going to find him when they need to pick up the certain amount of yardage. Corey Bradley's the guy they like to go to, and he does a great job of getting open right here. But they're going to say that this pass carried him out of bounds. It appears that he tried to get his left foot down, but his knee might have hit first.
In any
a big blow
case,
to Gateway.
Incomplete pass. Good effort by Bradley. Not a bad throw by Smith. Just led him a little bit too far to the sideline. Lichtenstein to punt from his own 40. Here's Doiley with a fair catch. And he puts it away at the 13-yard line. We've got fireworks in the opening half. 8:20 to go. 13-10 Tigers.
You cheer every play, every first down, every end zone celebration. You bust your tonsils play after play and scream and shout like you've got a 260-pound linebacker on your tail. Then throw down a cold as ice Coke and get right back at it. Why? Because you can. Because you have to. Coca-Cola Football Town, USA.
Introducing Trib Total Media. We're more than daily and weekly newspapers. We're also radio, websites, magazines, penny savers, and television. So whatever you want, you can get it from us. Trib Total Media. We deliver newspapers and more.
Welcome back to McDonald's Thursday Night High School Football, Gateway and Mckeesport. We're coming up in the 4th quarter. We have our Coca-Cola fan of the game. Our crew will hit the stands and try to find the best fans from either Mckeesport or Gateway, and they'll win $100 in Coca-Cola products. Guys, that's in the 4th quarter, so stay tuned.
Trenny, thanks. Mckeesport back on offense. And this one, again to McBride. He's out over the 20 to the 23-yard line for Travis McBride. So McBride, a nice pickup on first down. And we'll talk a little bit about this Tiger offense. And we mentioned it's similar to the wishbone, but not quite. It's called the flexbone for George Smith.
What they've done is the wishbone has the running backs behind the fullback in a wishbone formation, just like a wishbone you break off your turkey on Thanksgiving Day. This one, you're going to see the running backs, the 2 wing backs are both outside the tight ends. And that's one thing that gives them a little more flexibility. It's more of a spread formation, as you're going to see Leonard pick up a couple yards there. And this is an offense that George Smith, he was looking to run the option. He'd been a graduate assistant at North Carolina State with Lou Holtz in 1972. He played at North Carolina State. And he tried to come with some kind of an option attack. And one of his former players, Jamie Eccles, came back in 1991 after playing at Wisconsin River Falls, a Division III school that was famous for running this triple option attack. And they brought and implemented this offense. And it's been really something that's unique to Western Pennsylvania, not only because they have the players to run it, they have the smart quarterbacks that are able to use it, but it's also very difficult to defend.
They give to McBride off the right side, got a yard, maybe, on the carry.
And Terry Smith said, you know, the problem with this is usually teams only get 1 week to prepare for it. So you have to teach your players to play this assignment defense where everybody is assigned to a different player in this, and someone is assigned to the quarterback, the fullback, and the pitch man. And so it's a read option. And so the offense is going to read the defense has to read the offense. So the defensive ends are reading the quarterback, the outside linebacker takes the pitch man, and the inside linebackers and defensive tackles take the fullback. That's how this is designed to stop the triple option.
See if they stop it here, and they do. Brandon Lindsay with a quarterback sack. Kopolovich trying to get free, but he couldn't get out of the grasp of Lindsay.
And that's why I say the outside linebacker has to take the pitch man. You saw Livesey, covering the pitch. He's able to come up on Kopolovich and make the stop. And that's, Livesey's a guy who played safety in the past. But what they did was move him to outside linebacker to give them some speed and physical presence outside. And they moved David Williams to free safety. But you see his tackling totals, 5 sacks, 54 tackles. But this guy also has a school record with 16 interceptions. He's a ball hawk. Whether the ball's in the air or whether it's on the ground, he's proven, and I think he's one of the guys that has been one of their more valuable defensive players.
As we see Farron Mason going off, 6 foot 282, a junior. Looks like he tweaked one of his legs.
That's a difficult loss for Gateway because Farron Mason was actually the backup. The starting defensive tackle was Mike Cornelius, who's the starting center, but he got injured early in the season, had a separated shoulder, and he's only able to play offensively. So that's a tough loss for them. Now that's going to be very difficult for Gateway to come up with another defensive tackle because they're basically turning to a third stringer.
Tough against this offense too, which wears you down. A final note there on that flex bone offense, George Smith said, you know, we went to it because year in and year out we have 3 or 4 good running backs. He said actually this year, as we see Leonard, one of the fine running backs, up over the 30-yard line, he said this year we actually do have a couple of really good receivers, so we've been able to, you know, be a little bit more dynamic with the offense. It's not just run from time to time. You know, we've got a quarterback with a good arm. Let's take advantage of it. And Cromerdie and Doiley and the tight end Becoate have been very good at catching passes.
And like we said, 14 of Kopolovich's completions have gone for touchdowns. So when they do throw the ball, they're very efficient and often get into the end zone.
4 touchdown passes last week against Fox Chapel. And the punt was supposed to be fielded by David Williams on that far side, and he misplayed it, went out of bounds. He was right at the sideline anyway. So Gateway back on offense at their own 40-yard line. 5:26 left before halftime. Mckeesport with a 13-10 lead.
And we'll see if Gateway sticks with that spread option attack because it worked so well for them the last drive with them being able to find Williams on the touchdown pass. We'll see if whether they go back to that, using 4 or 5 receiver sets.
They've been trying to punt away from David Williams, and that's a pretty good idea. He's got 4 return touchdowns this year. Had one last week that went for 70 yards against Trinity. 2 punt returns, 78 yards against Trinity last week. That's a good reason to punt away from him. Smith on play action. The pocket crumbles, and Smith to the turf.
And you're going to see Gateway just take advantage of a position change right there. The guy playing left tackle, you're going to see number 71. Used to be number 21, Jordan Stevens. He was a tight end. He's now been moved to left tackle, and he gets beat on that play not once but twice. But you have to give Mckeesport a lot of credit for that play because Lawrence Gooden kept coming. They've done a nice job of not allowing Smith to escape that pocket because that's where he's most dangerous. Once he gets outside the pocket, he can run or throw the ball. And they're doing a great job of keeping him in the pocket and really giving him a lot of pressure.
He's 4 of 7 so far. They give up the gut, pushing that pile forward across the 36-yard line, and not a bad run for Gateway there.
And please don't take that as me criticizing 71 Jordan Stevens. It takes a lot of guts for a guy to be willing to make a move, especially mid to late season like he did, to go from tight end his natural position to a left tackle position he'd never played before. But Terry Smith said, you know what, we're in crunch time. Now's the time when we need our best guys and put them in their best positions. They were missing a left tackle since Shavin Stubenbort, a junior, quit the team in week 2. They've been having trouble on the offensive line, and Jordan Stevens rose to the occasion and answered that call.
3rd down and 13. Smith works out of the gun with 4 wide. Looks near side. Rolls right. Pass broken up. Let's go back down to the sidelines for Trinity.
Well, guys, I have an injury update on Farron Mason. He has a slight left ankle sprain. They are going to tape him up, and they do expect him to return to the game, guys.
All right, Trinity, good news then, if he does come back. 3:47 left before halftime, and Aaron Smith with all day to throw, but good coverage downfield by the Tiger defense.
And, Mckeesport did a nice job of coming up on that ball and really breaking up that pass. You see a couple defensive backs got in there and mixed it up on that play. And that's something, once again, forcing Gateway to punt the football.
Lichtenstein to punt it away once again. He's been busy. McBride this time called for the fair catch. They had plenty of room to run as a late penalty flag comes in, but went the safe route and caught it at the 23-yard line, and we'll see what the violation is.
Well, Lichtenstein has shown he's done a nice job of punting the ball high and with a lot of hang time when it was just Doiley back there. Now that he has 2 guys, he punted it high and far. So he's done a nice job of doing that, considering he's not really a punter by trade, by nature. He's more of a kicker and kickoff specialist.
Officials will talk it over. 3:39 left in the second quarter, and Mckeesport on top 13-10. So early on, the two teams kind of felt each other out, and not a whole lot of offense on the first drive for either team. But then we saw a lot of offense, but now it's kind of switched back to the point where each side seems to have figured the other team out, and defense
An invalid fair catch signal on the return team. 5-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Mckeesport.
There you have it, 5 yards as Mckeesport gets it back.
Well, it's tough for Mckeesport when they're starting already deep in their own territory to have to start off the drive with a penalty and go 5 yards further back. So this is something that, this is another break for Gateway, and we'll see whether their defense can contain Kopolovich in that triple option.
Terry Smith, 4 years at Gateway. They made it to the Whitfield Quad A Championship and lost to Central Catholic last year. Mckeesport, on the flip side, lost in the quarterfinals in the Whitfield playoffs. Here you see the penalties. Gateway 2 for 9 yards. Mckeesport 4 for 20. First down and 10. They hand it off left side. Running room, and then getting drilled to the turf is Warren Waite, who we haven't seen touch the ball much here in the first half. He found an open hole, broke a tackle, pretty good individual effort, but then he paid for it at the end of the play.
This play was a little slow developed with all the misdirection possibilities, and Waite gets out there, and you're going to see coming out of your screen, Jordan Stevens just lowering a forearm to Warren Waite, and that was another one of the zoo shots, and even the Mckeesport people were surprised with that one. Waite, 370 yards, 5 touchdowns. Look at that average, 15.4 yards a carry. He's a guy who doesn't get the ball a whole lot, but when he does, it's usually a big play.
5 touchdowns for him so far. Kopolovich to throw. Got a man over the middle. Wide open room for Anthony Becoate, the tight end, up near midfield.
Well, Becoate's a guy who's really stepped up. Last year started at tight end, but this year he's really become a big-time receiver threat. You see him on that play, wide open in the middle of the field, and then he picks up some extra yards beyond the catch. And Kopolovich does a nice job here. Not too many times does he come out of that 3-step drop, but he hits his man right on the mark, and then Becoate is able to slip a few guys and pick up a couple extra yards. Not bad for a tight end. This guy's a 6'2", 205-pound senior, and he can really move when in the open field. Nice job by Kopolovich to find the open man on that play as well.
Becoate, 3 catches, 35 yards, and 3 touchdowns coming into the night. One of his touchdowns coming in last week's game. Kopolovich back on the ground this time, and nothing doing for Travis McBride.
And Travis McBride, even though he's considered one of the best running backs in the WKL and one of the best prospects remaining skill position-wise, he hasn't had that many yards. He only had 75 carries, 737 yards coming into this game. And part of that is in this offense, a lot of it's based on misdirection. This is a guy who's probably more of a traditional tailback. But, he's been willing to sacrifice his personal stats for the sake of the team. But you're seeing he's only getting about 5 yards a carry tonight. But he's very capable of breaking a big one. And we've seen him do it many times before, so don't be surprised if he gets a shot tonight.
Kopolovich to throw. Over the top, he's got a wide open man, it's Doiley. Inside the 5, touchdown, Robert Doiley.
Well, Robert Doiley does a great job of getting behind the defense on this play. Doiley came into this game 8 catches for 258 yards and 5 touchdowns. So 5 of his 8 catches were for touchdowns, averaging 32 yards a catch. And watch how far beyond the secondary he is. Look how many yards he is beyond these white jerseys when you see. And Kopolovich just finds his man and puts the ball on the money. Doiley had about a 5 to 10 yard lead. And he just hauls that one, and he's a really quick, exciting player. It's our first glimpse of seeing him. It's just a simple pattern. You see him going for the post pattern on that play, and just way behind the defense. Gateway's had a couple breakdowns on this pass play. It's just the kind of play you can't allow Mckeesport to do.
Extra point for Chase Martin, the senior. 53 yards, and the touchdown from Kopolovich to Robert Doiley, the big play wide out for the Tigers. And they are on top 20-10 inside of 2 minutes before halftime. Are you surprised at all with what we've seen in the first half from either side?
To be honest, you don't normally see Mckeesport throw the ball twice in one possession, so I would have to say I am surprised. George Smith has actually thrown the ball a lot more this season than normal. I can remember one year where they had Cecil Howard, a Syracuse recruit at the time, had 13 completions for 9 touchdowns. So, that was at the end of the regular season. So to see them throw the ball this much, and it's only been a couple times, but that's been surprising. But, I think Gateway has made a couple nice big plays, but they haven't been consistent where Mckeesport, every time they get the ball, they've shown the ability to move the ball downfield, and that's something they're kind of testing Gateway's resolve right now.
We've seen some big plays, and you talk about Mckeesport's offense, one that wears the defense down and really winds time off the clock. 156 on that drive, only 4 plays.
And they had another drive that lasted less than a minute. I think it was a 3-play, 80-yard drive. It was 58 seconds. But what they do is sometimes with the different plays, then go to different guys, they kind of lull you to sleep. And I think that's what they did to Gateway on that play. They lulled them to sleep, and then all of a sudden they went over the top for a big touchdown pass.
Martin to boot it away. Taken off the ground by Smith. Up the middle for the return. Smith with a seam after the 32-yard line. That's where Gateway starts on their next possession with 1:38 left in the second quarter. A 27-yard return for the quarterback/kick returner.
Well, the one advantage Gateway has right now is that because they've run that triple option, or that spread option attack, that they've run this 2-minute offense very effectively and very efficiently this season. So for them to get the ball with 1:38 and about, a little less than 70 yards to go, that's not something that's out of the realm of possibility for them to put some points on the board here right before halftime.
4 wide. Smith out of the gun. Inside handoff for Livesey. He's out to the 39-yard line, a pickup of 5 yards on first down.
It's a nice call by Gateway because what they've done is make the defense honest now. They said, if you're going to come out and cover us, we're going to line up a bunch of receivers wide. We're going to take the draw and get Livesey a couple yards. And this is a guy who has come through for them, even though he hasn't had much experience. He had a big game against Benedictine in the first game of the season, had a couple touchdowns in that big comeback, fourth quarter comeback they made. And he's only a sophomore, so he has a chance, that he's able to do this so far. It shows some promise.
They gave him a gain of 6. Second down and 4 again. It's Livesey getting the call. Maybe got 1 on second down. Will bring up third down and short for the Gator offense.
Mckeesport was a little more wise to it this time. They were ready for that play with the single back formation. This time they'd sniffed Livesey out. He really had nowhere to run.
Terry Smith with his team down by a touchdown and a field goal here. And this is a team that has lost twice this season. They lost to Thomas Jefferson a couple of weeks ago, a defensive battle, 10-7. Lost 48-28 to Woodland Hills earlier in the year.
Yeah, you got to be surprised to see Gateway taking its time on this drive. Really, when they have only a couple, a chance to go downfield on them, they haven't done it.
Williams gets yardage, gets the first down, and gets it into Mckeesport territory. And the clock stopping with 17 ticks.
You got to be surprised that they haven't attacked this Gateway defense. They've kind of, you've got to wonder if they're content going in with a 10-point deficit. I would think that Gateway wants to get on that scoreboard. At the very least, get themselves in field position to give Liechtenstein a shot at a field goal before the half.
So David Williams, another big play. We'll see if he gets it again here. 17 seconds, football at the 48 of the Tigers. Bad snap. Smith is hemmed in, and he just runs it out of bounds. Back near his own 30.
He seems pretty disgusted about that play. The one pitfall of having a shotgun attack in high school is that you have to deal with the bad snaps, and you're going to see Cornelius' snap go off, not only over the head, but off to the right. And Smith does a nice job of recovering it and makes a smart decision. Rather than trying to outrun the defenders and throw the ball downfield, he just gets out of bounds, sets himself up for another play. 11 seconds remaining. They have at least a chance for possibly 2 plays, maybe 3, depending what kind of plays they run. But that's something that could be very costly because they were getting downfield. They were in Mckeesport territory and possibly had a chance to get Liechtenstein another field goal try.
After a loss of 20, they'll keep it on the ground for Livesey, and he gets out over the 35, and that will run out the clock here in the first half.
See Gateway playing it safe. That's not Terry Smith's calling card, but he's going to take it in with a 10-point deficit.
We played 2 quarters of football. It's 20-10. Mckeesport with the lead. A team that's been outscoring opponents 52-3 in their last 6 games. They haven't lost since week 1 to North Hills, and they don't plan on losing with the conference championship on the line here tonight at home on senior night, and they've got that 20-10 lead at the break.
Well, I'm surprised to see that Gateway didn't take a shot at the end zone on the last drive. I think Terry Smith wants to get his team in the locker room at halftime and discuss what things went wrong and try to make some defensive adjustments because they didn't do a great job of stopping Mckeesport. But Mckeesport's got to be feeling pretty good about where they are right now, going into the halftime with a 10-point lead at home. The team seems to be coming out with the proper intensity for a game of this magnitude.
20-10 at the break here at Mckeesport High School. The Quad Southwest Championship is on the line. Our Trenny Kuzniak will be going to her momentarily with the head coach of Gateway, Terry Smith. In the meantime, though, we get a look at the band coming up on the halftime show. We're going to hear from this Gateway band. In the meantime, though, it's down to Trenny.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Terry Smith, what do you tell your guys in the locker room? I think that last mistake there really hurt you guys. How do you develop some offensive consistency and cut down on those mistakes?
Well, right now we're just having a hard time on both sides of the ball. Just like you said, finding consistency. We're going to try to establish a run game here in the second half, and we got to stop their option. And they're just opening it up with the play action and the passing behind and running the ball. So we're having a hard time right now, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, how do you adjust defensively to Dan Kopolovich, who's done so much offensively for Mckeesport?
Well, he's a tremendous player, and he's had a great first half. The key for us is we got to stop the fullback. They got him going in those first two series, and then it was just lights out from there. We've got to stop the fullback, and then we can stop the rest.
All right, thanks very much. Best of luck in the second half. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Trenny.
All right, we'll take a break. Coming up next, it's the #1 Cochrane halftime show right after this.
What a day it's been already. I got a very... Barb's a natural morning person. For me, morning's about as natural as my hair color. Do you scrapbook? No, but I found a way to get through.
Oh, McDonald's. I could really use some coffee.
Decaf, I help.
And I thought, I'm gonna put it
Get
right
going with McDonald's. From McGriddles, McMuffin sandwiches, to delicious breakfast platters, no one has more breakfast choices.
Have a great day. And you have a great day, too.
Kristen Holloway, PPG Credit Manager and Operation Troop Appreciation Founder. Steve McCowan, Research Chemist and volunteer at the PPG Aquarium. Gretchen Roos, Senior Counsel and American Cancer Society Relay for Life Captain. Just a few of the thousands of people working for PPG and helping to unlock the potential of our community. PPG, unlocking potential.
In today's world, there's a trait that employers value more than anything else, and that's character. For over 150 years, California University has prepared students for fulfilling careers and meaningful lives. Values like integrity, civility, and responsibility are integrated into classroom and campus activities. Our students enter their careers with a high degree of character, for livelihood and for life. That is our mission and our difference.
Intensity, delivered weekly on the Highmark High School Sports Practice, Sunday mornings at 9 on FSN.
Hurt in an accident? Need injury help fast? Just remember, one click, that quick. EdgarSnyder.com for a free online legal consultation.
Bledsoe and the Cowboys, Alexander and the Seahawks. Fox NFL Sunday this weekend in HD.
20-10 Mckeesport at the break, and the halftime show on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by #1 Cochrane, bigger than ever, better than ever. Let's head down to the sidelines for Trenny Kuzniak.
Thanks very much, Brent. Well, part of the #1 Cochrane halftime show is a chance to listen to some local high school bands. On the field right now, the Gateway Band. They are directed by Bob Reed, and they're performing Reflections tonight. It's a two-part performance of light and form. Take a listen.
Gateway will continue their show tonight with the third song of their competition show entitled Light. from Monroe, Pennsylvania. We would like to proudly invite everyone out to their home competition show this week held at Gateway High School.
All right, we'd like to extend a congratulations to the Gateway High School Band, who last weekend was in Pontiac, Michigan for the Bands of America Regionals. They took 13th place out of 28 teams, and their band director told me they spent a lot of time traveling and going to competitions around the country. Well, up next will be the Mckeesport Band. They are directed by Karen Cole, and their halftime performance is entitled Power Trip. It's music by the Tower of Power group. Their first song will be So Very Hard to Go. Their second will be Attitude Dance. Karen told me there's 67 kids in the band, and they compete as well. They compete in Pimba. They took first place at Norwin a few weeks ago. They also took second place at a competition in Woodland Hills, and their band also spends a lot of time here in Mckeesport, performing at local venues, parades, and ceremonies. Here is the Mckeesport High School Band.
Characterized by heavy syncopation and extended vamping over one or two chords. Well, that's the highbrow definition, but we all know what funk is when we hear it, and the word funky certainly applies to this year's show. Our journey begins tonight with a smooth ballad from the Tower of Power entitled So Very Hard to Go. It features trumpet soloist Mike Face and flag soloist Alicia Harmon. Our journey will conclude this evening with the Tower of Power's Attitude Dance with saber soloist Jamie Minutes. Drum majors for the Tiger Band are Kelly Holsinger and Mike Face, with guard captains Weedy Morse and co-captains Alicia Harmon and Samantha Smith. We hope you enjoy our Power Trip. Drum majors Kelly Holsinger and Mike Face. Is the band ready? Arms! Yes, sir!
Thanks very much to the Mckeesport High School Band. Coming up next on the number 1 Cochran Halftime Show, we'll recap the first half, plus we'll have the Cochran kick for an H3. That's all coming up next.
The new number 1 Cochran Nissan showroom on West Liberty Avenue. And we'll show you unparalleled choices, unbelievable prices, unmatched finance options, all the things number 1 Cochran is known for.
It's showtime. Let us show you our stuff.
Hey, where's your brother?
He'll be here. Can you believe the wife bought him a brand new bike?
No way.
Who is that? I think that's her father.
Same family.
Nice bike, Henry.
Different bikes. Same insurance company.
Nice color, Henry.
Geico. One call could save you money on your motorcycle insurance, too.
Here's another material handling solution from Equipco, confined area forklifts. Hi, I'm Carl Swanson of Equipco. In today's economy, we have to reduce costs, increase productivity, and handle material more efficiently. Confined area forklifts from Equipco expand usable warehouse space or reduce the amount of warehouse space you need. That saves your company money. And that's what Equipco Material Handling Solutions is all about. Call Equipco at 412-221-2800.
Injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Join the crowds clicking to EdgarSnyder.com for injury help fast. One click, that quick. Last year, over 500,000 people, including many of your friends and neighbors, found the injury help they needed at EdgarSnyder.com. Hundreds of pages on all types of accidents and injuries. And if you think you have a case, it's one click, that quick, for a free online legal consultation. So follow your mouse for injury help fast. EdgarSnyder.com. One click, that quick. That quick.
Welcome back to Mckeesport High School. Brent Stover and Kevin Gorman, 20-10. The home team with the lead at the break, and Mckeesport coming in, averaging 46 points per game, best in Quad A in the Whippeal. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights, especially as quarterback Kopolovich, Dan Kopolovich, a great first half.
He did a great job of reading and take advantage of Gateway's defensive miscues. He does a nice job. You're going to see him with a 55-yard touchdown run on this play to get the scoring open for Mckeesport. He's done a nice job so far of running that triple option flex bone, and you're going to see him here again on an 8-yard touchdown keeper. And Kopolovich really got the thing started for Mckeesport, but Gateway was able to answer back with a big 82-yard pass play from Aaron Smith to David Williams. He bobbled that ball, but then he was able to outrun Travis McBride and get into the end zone for his 7th touchdown catch of the season and his 6th play of 60 yards or more. But once again, Mckeesport answers the call with a big pass play of its own, a big surprise. Robert Doiley with a big touchdown, 53-yard touchdown catch.
We take a look at some of the first half stats. First downs, Mckeesport with 2 more. Rushing yards, I think, is a pretty big deal. 153-8 right now.
And the big difference there is that Aaron Smith has been sacked 5 times for losses totaling 57 yards. That's where the disparity is.
And we look at third down conversions. 1 of 7 for Gateway, 0 for 2 for Mckeesport. Time of possession relatively even here in the first half. The Tigers, the home team, with a 20-10 lead at the break. We can talk about some individuals. Kopolovich, well, through the air, we saw the touchdown there. He was 2 of 2 for 78 yards, not bad. On the ground, he's been very, very effective with the legs.
Yeah, Kopolovich, he has 7 carries, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did a great job of reading Gateway's defense, making them adjust to the things that he was doing. And he's really engineered this offense, done a nice job. Anthony Leonard set the tone early at the fullback spot, and they really haven't even had to turn to Travis McBride, who's really their offensive star. They haven't had to use him that much yet, so we'll look for some big things from him in the second half, possibly.
As we flip the coin, Aaron Smith, 5 of 9 through the air for 122 and 1 touchdown, but minus 27 on the ground. But you alluded to it, he's been sacked 5 times, and really their running game hasn't been able to get going. Not just Aaron Smith, but Eric Livesey hasn't really gotten off yet, and some of the backups that have been in there as far as Livesey, the other Livesey, Brandon Livesey, Charles King, and the backups for Joe Martin, who's out with an injury, they just haven't gotten it going.
Joe Martin's injury has really been something that Gateway's having trouble overcoming, not only offensively but defensively. defensively, you've seen the secondary get exploited with a couple big pass plays. Joe Martin's really being missed right now. Gateway has to make some adjustments and overcome that because right now they're having trouble without him.
All right, let's head back down to the sidelines for Trenny.
Thanks very much, guys. Well, it's time now for our #1 Cochrane halftime kick for a Hummer H3. No one has won yet this season, but maybe White Oak's Dan Heslop will be the lucky winner.
Next up is a 30-yard attempt for Dan. That kick is up. And good. And now Dan's final attempt, a 45-yard attempt for the Hummer H3.
All right, guys, very, very close, 2 out of 3, but he does not win the Hummer H3. Let's go back up to the booth.
All right, Trenny, thanks. Very, very good effort, but unable to get it done. What about Gateway? How do they get it done here in the second half, down 10?
Well, I think one positive sign for Gateway was when they went to the spread offense, they had some things happen offensively. They have to establish the run game, but I really think their passing game has shown some life, some signs that they can really put some points on the board. But defensively, they have to get Mckeesport's offense solved. They have to figure out how to solve that riddle.
Tigers with the 20-10 lead. George Smith, the 24th-year head coach. He's down with Trenny Kuznarek.
Thanks very much, guys. And George, I know it took place in the first quarter, but how big was that defensive stop when Gateway was right there?
Yeah, it was tremendous. I mean, our kids really came alive defensively, and I'm very proud of them. They're keeping us in this game, We've had some big plays offensively, but Gateway has a tough defense, and so our defense has to answer.
You have to be happy with the way your quarterback's playing. He's playing very, very well.
He's playing very well. Yes, he is.
All right, thank you very much. Best of luck in the second half. All right, second half coming up right after this.
Discount fares have landed at Pittsburgh International Airport. More new airlines and great deals emailed to your computer. Click on FareSaver to book flights at the best prices. FlyPittsburgh.com is Pittsburgh International Airport.
I'm a food truck man, that's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries, I don't compromise. Ain't no doubt by king of the mountain, built Ford truck.
If you've had your eye on a dependable Ford SUV, now's the time to buy. Because with bonus cash, you'll get $2,500 cash back. Yeah, $2,500 cash back on the new completely redesigned 2006 Explorer, featuring first-in-class roll stability control and the class exclusive intelligent safety system standard.
Visit your neighborhood Ford store today.
No need to check airlines from outside of Pittsburgh anymore. At Pittsburgh International Airport, all the new airlines add up to better airfares. Go to flypittsburgh.com and click on FareSaver to book your next flight. Great fares, great airlines, great airport.
Glory, delivered weekly on the Highmark High School Sports Practice. Sunday mornings at 9 on FSN.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV this year, but you want to be absolutely sure you pick the right one. Circuit City makes it simple.
I guess you're just what I need.
That's because only Circuit City has a website with thousands of customer reviews that rate all the hot new stuff. Plus, home entertainment experts in our stores who make choosing the right TV a lot simpler. Circuit City.
Welcome, new Pirates manager Jim Tracy from FSN Pittsburgh, where Pirates fans come first.
The FSN Pro Football Preview. Your first-hand look at the weekend's biggest matchups. Sunday on FSN.
Mckeesport, the 10-point lead, back down to Trenny.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm here with Mckeesport alum Mike Logan, who just told me, boy, I wish they would have put high school football on TV when I was there. How great is this, Mike, for high school football in Western Pennsylvania?
This is awesome. You know, we got some great football going on here, and wanted to come out tonight and support my Tigers from Mckeesport. Right now, so far, we're doing good. Although when I first came in, Gateway threw a touchdown, so I didn't know if I was a bad luck omen or not.
How fun is it for you to come back, and how important is it, because you play for the Steelers, to kind of come back and keep supporting the teams you played for in high school?
Well, I think it's good for the younger kids to see me. It's a success story. They see a guy who grew up just like them, just from around this area, so to come back and support them, I think it gives them a little bit of inspiration.
Your Mckeesport's looking pretty good right now. What do you think of their team?
So far, so good. I see they're sticking to their old guns by running the ball a lot, but I seen the pass go over the middle for a long one. When I played for George, we wasn't throwing too many passes, so it was good to see them throw the ball vertically.
Speaking of football, and you obviously playing for the Steelers, big game this weekend in Cincinnati. Defensively, what's the key? Do you key in on Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson, their run game? They're pretty multi-dimensional.
Right now, they're putting up a lot of yards offensively per game. The key is going to be stopping Chad. Of course, that's their number one go-to guy, but Carson's been spreading the ball around this year, and he said he's been doing a better job of just not focusing on Chad, trying to throw the ball to TJ, handing the ball out to Rudy, and utilizing the young guy, Chris Perry. So the defense got a challenge this week, but we'll be up to it.
All right, best of luck this week, and we'll see you in Cincinnati. And back up.
Go Tigers. Go
All right,
Tigers.
back up to the booth, guys. Thanks.
Sure, Trenny, thanks. And Kevin, I have two thoughts after that interview. Number one, he'd be great in the booth when his playing career is done. He's in his 9th year in the NFL, by the way. Number two, a Yankees hat.
Hey, you gotta love the Yankees. Michael Logan was a fantastic high school football player. I actually saw him play, not on this field, but in this stadium. You know, this is a new turf field that Mckeesport has put on their field. But he was a fantastic high school player. I actually saw him when Baldwin made the playoffs in 1991. I came to see my brother play here, and Logan had a couple big interceptions in the end zone. It was just really a game killer for Baldwin. And it was great to see him go on. When you see him play in high school, and sometimes you wonder how far these guys will go. Great to see him go on, have a fantastic career at West Virginia, and now in the NFL for so many years. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy too.
No doubt about that. And Kevin, as we start play here in the second half, Gateway down 10. Fortunately for them, you look at that offense, and that is a quick strike offense. It's not like this is a running team here. They can throw the football. Aaron Smith, the coach, is very comfortable with him.
I think if they can get some pass protection and figure out how to stop Mckeesport from putting so much pressure on Aaron Smith, if they can get that pass protection, they have a chance to go downfield. They have several receivers to throw the ball to. We've seen them pass it to Bradley, Ditto, Williams with a big touchdown catch. So this is something, but first of all, they have to kick off, and their defense has to come up with a big stop against this Mckeesport offense, which just has been running on all cylinders right now, and has been very efficient. And Dan Kopolovich just seems to have Gateway's number right now. We'll see whether that will change in the second half.
He's run the ball very well, and he's thrown 2 passes, and they've both been effective. One for a touchdown. 10-point lead as Mckeesport has the lead in the ball. And hit and drilled inside the 15-yard line. And that's where Mckeesport will start. A little bit of a fracas after the play.
Well, it's a good way to set the tone for the second half for Gateway. They were able to bottle up the Mckeesport return man. I believe it's is that Doiley on the return. He's a big play return guy. They were able to get down there and stop him and maybe set the tone with a big hit. If they can get a big stop, they have a chance to make something happen here early in the second half.
They give him forward progress. As you see, Kopolovich, 7 carries, 86 yards, and 2 scores. Forward progress to the 16, and that's where they start their first possession of the second half, and not much on first down for the Mckeesport offense.
Well, Gateway seems to have come out in the second half with a bit of an attitude, a little more fight to them. And, you see the linebacker there, Lohide, coming up on the stop. I think Lohide and Shane Hale, number 45, are going to be 2 guys that are going to have a big second half for Gateway to have a chance.
So second down and 9 for the Tigers, leading 20-10. They got 3 touchdowns in the first half. 1 a pass, Two on the run by the quarterback, and he keeps it here, and he is stacked up in the backfield. Back at the 14, James Murphy, one of the first men there for the Gator defense.
And that's what Gateway, you see Jordan Stevens there. He's a guy who's getting all kinds of Division I looks. Kentucky, Illinois, Michigan State's coming in on him. The longer his season goes, the more chances he has to play in games like this and get exposure. You're going to see more Division I teams, big-time Division I teams come in on this guy. At 6'4", 245, he's athletic, and he's also showing his toughness by playing, in that 3-5 defense and also playing left tackle on offense.
Third down and a dozen for Kopolovich. What does he have up his sleeve? Hand off to the deep man. It's McBride, and he gets back to the line, maybe got a yard or two. And it is punt time for Mckeesport, and that is a big statement here to start the second half, I think, for this Gateway defense.
It really is. It shows you that they've made some defensive adjustments and that they've come out here fired up because they kind of went into the halftime with a whimper. Surprised that they didn't take a shot at the end zone, or at least didn't try to get themselves in field goal position, but I think Terry Smith wanted to get his troops together and reorganize, and that's what they've seemed to have done at halftime.
McBride to punt it away, and this is a beauty. Smith backs up to his own 42. Tries the far sideline, and he's knocked out at the 48-yard line. So a tremendous punt by Travis McBride and a late penalty flag. We might have a late hit, some extracurricular activity on that far sideline.
Well, that's what now you're seeing these teams jawing at each other a little bit. I think they both came out here with some attitude. They realize these are somewhat rivals in this conference because they know at the end of the season that last game is going to probably determine who's the conference champion, as it has the last two seasons.
10-yard penalty, into the run, first down.
Well, that was a good punt by McBride. Not much on the return, and now they back it up even more for Gateway, and we'll take a look at what happened here at the end of the play.
Well, you see Smith kind of ran out of bounds, but it looks like he started maybe a little bit of a scuffle there by pushing the Mckeesport defensive player. I believe that's Dexter Jones, number 53, pushing him, and that's going to be a costly penalty because they could have started at I believe it was the Gateway 48. Now they go back to their own 33-yard line, 32-yard line. So that's it's a costly way to start your first drive of the second half.
So a net of 57 there, a 42-yard punt, 15-yard penalty. That's not what you want if you're Gateway. First possession of the second half, Lahidi lines up as a tight end to the right, backfield in the eyes. Hand off to the second man through it to Livesey. At the 34-yard line. 9:49 to go third quarter. Mckeesport by 10.
Well, you're seeing Gateway revert back to the way they started this game, trying to establish the run game out of a power I formation. They haven't been able to really run the ball very effectively so far, but at least they are trying to say we're going to establish the run however long it takes us, because we saw them in the second half. They were their most effective in that spread offense, but they also had Aaron Smith in a lot of trouble in that offense, having to run for his life a few times and taking 5 sacks for minus 57 yards.
Second down, 8. Handoff left side, and Livesey dropped in the backfield. McBride, the first man there.
It was a great play by the Mckeesport defense, beating the left tackle, Chris Hanna, to the ball. And McBride, you see a couple Division I players going up against each other. This is why this game is so exciting, because you have so much talent on this field. And McBride's one of the guys who really, I could really see him playing defense in college. Some people have likened him with his ability to contain the outside with his speed and with his hitting ability. Some people have said he's a guy who's very similar to the way Ryan Mundy was in high school, playing the strong safety, the ability to play free safety or outside linebacker.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 13. And Smith, it's incomplete, intended on the far sideline for Charles King, and it's punt time for Gateway. So both defenses stout here in the early going in the second half.
That was a surprising call because Ditto was open over the middle, as was David Williams trying to stretch the field. So Smith went with the short underneath pass, but Terry Smith might have some words for his nephew, saying, "What were you thinking?" Because we had 2 guys downfield to throw the ball to.
His dad is the offensive coordinator. That's Harvey Smith. And his uncle is Terry Smith, the head man, who's the stepfather of the great Justin King. They're going to get away from this punt. Inside the 40, a good Gateway roll. And down to the 37-yard line. 8:18 to go in the third. Mckeesport, the home team, back on offense. In a moment, but first a penalty flag. We cued the music. We'll take it back off. A penalty flag at the end, and we'll see what this one is. Regardless, it looks like the Tigers will get the football back with that 10-point lead.
That's going to be another costly way for these teams to start a drive with the penalty.
Dead ball, personal foul, on the return team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
15-yard penalty. Let's re-cue the music. 10-point lead from Mckeesport. 8:17 left in the third.
Introducing Trib Total Media. We're more than daily and weekly newspapers. We're also radio, websites, magazines, penny savers, and television. So whatever you want, you can get it from us. Trib Total Media. We deliver newspapers and more.
Morning! What a day it's been already. I got up very...
Barb's a natural morning person. For me, morning's about as natural as my hair color.
Do you scrapbook?
No, but I found a way to get through.
Oh, McDonald's. I could really use some coffee.
Do you get by home?
And I thought,
Get going with McDonald's. From McGriddles, McMuffin sandwiches, to delicious breakfast platters, no one has more breakfast choices.
Have a great day. And you have a great day, too.
George Smith in his 24th season. I don't care if you're a first-year coach or a 50th-year coach, you don't like personal fouls.
No, especially when the ball's rolling. That was completely unnecessary, totally uncalled for. You put yourself in a 15-yard hole just to start the drive. But I think it is one thing. The officials are making sure that they're in control of this game. They're not going to let it get out of hand. But now Mckeesport has to work from deep in its own territory to start this drive.
Dan Kopolovich running play, and he kept it. And nobody was fooled for the Gateway defense.
Jordan Stevens, I believe, was the man on that sack. And you're seeing just how effective he can be at defensive end.
We'll take a look at our replay. He faked it to fullback, but Stevens wasn't fooled, neither were a couple of his teammates.
Well, in this assignment defense, Jordan Stevens, the defensive end, is assigned to watch that quarterback, and he did a great job of following his man. And you're seeing the schools looking at him: Kentucky, Bowling Green, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Miami, Ohio, some other schools. I think you're going to see some big schools come in on him as well.
Somebody jumped. It's the left tackle, Ted Dixon, for Mckeesport, so they'll back it up 5 more yards.
See Stevens, a big guy there at 6'4", 245.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
6 penalties, 40 yards, and we've seen 20 yards worth of penalties just in the last few moments for Mckeesport.
Look at Jordan Stevens, 8 sacks this season. He's a big-time player and a guy who's really, was only a part-time starter last season. He's really come on like gangbusters this season and been one of the better players in the WKL, at least especially on defense.
With 8 tackles last week, Kopolovich calls his own number across the 30, angles far side, and he's up over the 40-yard line. A first down and much, much more for the quarterback.
Well, Kopolovich is really taking advantage of this Gateway defense. He's able to break through for some big runs so far tonight. I can't even begin to tell you how much he's progressed since the first game. He really struggled against North Hills, especially without that fullback. But he's done a great job of making the fakes, the fake handoff there, and just tucking and running. And he's been able to get past the linebackers. He's really taken the linebackers out of this game by being able to get to the outside and that containment they had, and then get the first down, especially after a couple penalties. We talked about that. He's able to dig them out of a couple holes so far. 10 carries, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dan Kopolovich has been the catalyst for the Tigers tonight.
26 on that run. This time it's Kopolovich again, and he's over the 45.
Well, Kopolovich keeps you guessing, and you saw on that play right there, fakes the handoff and has the defense kind of standing still for a second, trying to figure out who exactly has the ball. A lot of times he's going to be the guy end up having that ball because he likes to tuck and keep it. And you're going to see him fake that handoff, put the ball right in the belly, and then come after it. It's a nice job by Livesey, the outside backer, to stay with his man and hang on to him. Livesey's assigned to the pitch, but he was able to read that play that Kopolovich kept it and stay with him and be able to grab him by the ankles and bring him down.
You're right. Just to echo what you said, he sells it so well. Sells that play to the fullback, and then he takes it himself. This time it's McBride getting his number called, and he gets a couple of yards.
Well, I think Kopolovich also keeps defenses honest because he's probably the best passing quarterback they've had in the last 5-6 seasons. He's got a good arm. He's also a very heady guy. Understands this offense, and I think that helps a lot. Is that this is a guy that people know he's capable of throwing the ball. You can't just sit there and key on the run every time because he's already made Gateway pay a couple times with the first down pass to Becoate over the middle, and then the touchdown pass to Doiley that really gave them a big deficit. Gateway a 10-point deficit.
3rd and 4 and a center exchange problem. And Kopolovich was able to fall on top of it. Well, you talk about Kopolovich, his grandfather, a great coach, longtime coach at Duquesne High School, Mike, who's since passed away, but I'm sure he learned a lot from a very young age being in that family.
And you're going to see just it looked like the missed time there. The snap was a little bit off. It appeared to hit Kopolovich in the knee. And the center, Josh Volpe, is the guy that went limping off. So that's something that could be very big for Mckeesport, is to lose your center to what appears to be an ankle injury, the way he came limping off. And also, we have to make a couple changes here now.
Try to get an update on him as soon as we can. McBride to boot it away. It's a short one that hangs up there and drops at the 20. And down at the 25-yard line by number 6, Darrell Robinson. 4:45 left in the third. Score remains 20-10.
I'm a food truck man, that's all I drive.
It's truck season, and now's the best time to get a great deal on a built Ford Tough F-150.
Hey, are you a Ford truck man?
Now with bonus cash, you'll get $4,500 cash back on a 2005 Ford F-150. Or if you'd rather save over the long haul, you can choose 0% interest for 72 months.
No other truck can touch Ford, brother.
And no one can touch these deals. But you better hurry, because they won't last.
Visit your neighborhood Ford store today.
World-class boxing ignites on FSN. Former champ Vernon Forrest and Elko the Animal Garcia square off in the best damn fight night period. Tomorrow on FSN.
When it comes to talking about Pittsburgh sports, no one is more respected than Stan Severin. If you want to improve your sports IQ, tune in as Stan tackles the issues with the top figures in the sports world and takes your phone calls. Severin on Sports Beat, weeknights at 6:30 on FSN Pittsburgh.
This copyrighted telecast is presented under the authority of FSN Pittsburgh, Gateway, and Mckeesport, and may not be reproduced, rebroadcast, re-recorded, or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of FSN Pittsburgh. Gateway back on offense, but larger concerns right now from Mckeesport.
Well, they're going to have to figure out how to reshuffle this offensive line, and then, in the process, maybe dealing with Gateway's offense right now.
Aaron Smith with a first down run. Out over the 35-yard line. They knock him out at the 37, and he gets 12 on first down.
And you're seeing Volpe get worked on by the trainers right now. It appeared that he had an ankle injury, but you really can't tell this soon. You see now, out of the shotgun formation, Smith does his own job of selling that fake and taking the ball, and a little sprint option on that play, and he gets a shove out of bounds by McBride, but he picks up the first down in the process.
4:39 in the third. Gateway down 10. Again, they've got that quick strike offense. Esport's done a good job defensively for the most part here tonight. Smith looking left. Got plenty of time to throw. Over the top far side and throws it away.
It was great coverage by Mckeesport's defensive secondary. They had those receivers blanketed. Smith had a lot of time, but he had no one to throw the ball to. They had 4 receivers out there in different, running different routes, and every single one of them had a defender within 1 step. Good decision by Smith to just get rid of the ball rather than taking, trying to make something out of nothing and taking the chance of another sack and another loss of yardage.
Interesting on Smith. You see the numbers there, 5 of 11. It hasn't been easy for him here tonight. Interesting, he'll be a wideout. We'll talk about that as the second half wears on. Going to be a college wideout. Handoff. Livesey falls forward across the 40 to the 41. How about an injury update from Trenny?
to return. Taking his place, guard Eric Roshon will move from guard to center. Eric Roshon will take Josh Volpe's place at center, guys.
All right, thank you, Trenny.
It's going to be the big question mark is going to be who's going to take Roshon's place at left guard. They have a little bit of time to figure that out with Volpe not being a starter on defense, so it gives Mckeesport a little bit of flexibility right now because they're on defense to figure all that out.
4 wide, and somebody jumped across the front. Looked like Lawrence Gooden, one of the defensive tackles for the Tigers. So this should help the Gateway Gators out.
Offsides on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
5 yards and move it up. And now it's third down and short.
Mckeesport's trying to jump the snap there, and now they got caught with their, I guess you could say, their hands down on that one. But it was a nice job by Aaron Smith to catch them in the process.
And what about Smith as a wide receiver?
Well, Aaron Smith, I think, is a natural wide receiver. I think quarterback, he plays the position out of necessity for Gateway. He's a serviceable quarterback. You see what a threat he is on the field. But wait till you see him at Pitt as a receiver. That's a position he was meant to play, position he's itching to play. He can't wait to get a chance. And Terry Smith said, between myself and Harvey, we're going to give him a crash course on all the finer points in playing receiver once the season is over.
And check out Lindsey, and a good second effort as he shedded a couple of tacklers.
And Lindsey's a guy who really has come on strong this season. They knew he had some talent, but they didn't know about his toughness. He's only a sophomore, a very young guy, a young sophomore at that. I don't even know if he's 15 years old yet, but he's a guy who's shown some toughness and some resiliency to be able to fight through those big quad A offensive lines or defensive lines and bounce off a few tacklers. And he's got a guy with plenty of upside.
Smith changed the play, and now again they blow it dead.
That time that flag is in Gateway's backfield and appears to be some movement on Gateway as Mckeesport is signaling just that.
Prior to snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, it sounds like Josh Volpe is going to return the starting center for Mckeesport. It'll be interesting to see if he's in there on the next drive.
The one thing they didn't have to worry about is the guy that handled the punting, the long snapping for the punting was the tight end Becoate, and he's their usual long snapper, so they didn't have to make a decision right at the moment, which would have, had that play not happen on third down, that injury, that was been something they would have had to make quick adjustments.
1st and 15. Smith has a man. It's John Ditto right around the first down marker. I believe he's a couple of inches short.
Well, he's getting back to the original line of scrimmage on that play is what he's doing. Because of the penalty, he was able to get them close to the original line of scrimmage. But, Smith goes for the short pass to Ditto. He said Ditto, these guys a Division I prospect himself, one of the top juniors in the WPIL, and expected to be one of the top juniors in the country. We'll see how schools recruit him, because I think a lot of people projected him as a tight end. Now they're getting a glimpse of him playing some tight end. You're going to see him split wide left. I think that's what gives him some flexibility. He's going to determine what position he wants to play and adjust his body accordingly, because he's about 210, 215 pounds now. Needs to add about 30 to play tight end.
Running play for Lindsey, and he gets a couple more yards. It'll bring him third down and about 8. So they get 5 on the pass play, and then a couple from Eric Livesey on the running play. An interesting play call coming up here on third down and 8.
Well, Gateway's done its job of lulling the Mckeesport defense to sleep a little bit, and you've got to wonder if maybe they'll go with a quick strike to that guy, number 10, David Williams. He's been their big play receiver all year. They've got him on one side, Ditto and Charles King on the other. So they have 4 options outside in the wide receiver sets.
On third down, it's Smith. Got plenty of time. Over the middle. Overshot his man. Looking for the possession receiver, Corey Bradley. Unable to complete the pass.
And Gateway's coaching staff looking for a flag on that play.
This week, our college football triple header begins with Nebraska taking on Missouri. Then after the college football Saturday kickoff show presented by Kyocera, Baylor battles Oklahoma. Then Washington State looks to pull off the upset when they square off against 23rd ranked Cal. It begins at 12:30 Eastern, only on FSN Pittsburgh. Well, it's put up or shut up time right now for the Gateway offense. Deep into the third quarter. And they blow it dead.
And it appears Dan Lohheide, number 4, is the guy who flinched, because I could see him getting angry with himself. But
prior to snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, Terry Smith is going to have some words, I would think, for the guilty party, and I think you're right, it's Lohide, the senior.
You see Lohide just jerk his body a little bit, lean forward, and that's going to cost them 5 yards, and it's going to force them to punt.
So Lichtenstein will boot it away. They wanted to go for it on 4th, but the penalty moves them back too far. And goes far side, and it's out of bounds at the 25-yard line. The Tigers back on offense with that 10-point lead deep in the 3rd quarter. And for George Smith, what do you do here? Just keep it on the ground and try to run some clock and maintain that lead?
I think that's the one thing that Mckeesport has been able to do is effectively chew up the clock. They haven't really put any points on the board the second half, but what they've done is they've run the clock so much that now Gateway is going to be in jeopardy of having a short, 10 points to make up in such a short amount of time. Not that they're not capable of it, but if Mckeesport can sustain a long drive here, they're really going to put Gateway's back against the wall.
Tigers 1st and 10, football rests at the 25. And it's Kopolovich, and he lost it. Picked up by Brandon Livesey. And Livesey taken down at the 25, and a turnover, a big one at that, for the Gateway Gator defense.
And we're saying Gateway's defense needed to come up with a big play. Brandon Livesey, their big play man, comes up with another turnover with great timing on his part, because not only are they able to get the ball before the end of the 3rd quarter, but they're able to get it deep in Mckeesport territory. And you see this is just a matter of Kopolovich losing grip on that ball. It seemed like he got wrapped up on that play, and Livesey is able to scoop it up and fall forward.
Yeah, good effort by Livesey. He and his brother Eric have both been factors for Gateway here tonight.
Couldn't
Down
quite
10.
see who got in on that tackle, but it might have been Vito Electronica.
Backfield in the eye. Play action for Smith. He wants the end zone. He's got a man there. It's caught. Touchdown. David Williams.
Well, there's that quick strike offense. Gateway gets the turnover and immediately goes for the jugular. And David Williams is once again the guy they turn to. Aaron Smith finds him in the back of the end zone. Actually, good coverage on this play, but Aaron Smith is able to throw the ball over the defensive back. And you're going to see right here that Williams was covered, but Smith throws over the coverage. Great job by Aaron Smith to put this ball where the defender could not catch it and David Williams could. A wonderful throw by a guy. We talked about him. His future is at receiver. What a great high school quarterback he is. One of the best in the Whitfield, I would say, as far as being a dual threat guy. He's one of the more dangerous players at his position.
Williams got 2 feet in for good measure. Lichtenstein boots it through. Gateway within 3. How about that for a turn of events?
And that's how quickly, when you have these kind of athletes, that's how quickly this game can turn on a dime. 1 turnover, 1 touchdown, all of a sudden we've got a great game again. 20-17, a minute to play in the 3rd quarter.
Well, the PPG realizes the commitments of high school students in unlocking their potential. Matt Lichtenstein, who just booted that extra point from Gateway, is one such student that exemplifies those qualities. He's tonight's PPG player profile. Lichtenstein not only is a kicker with the football team, also has a 4.0 GPA and has scored a 1,400 on his SAT test. He's also a member of the National Honor Society. He's tonight's PPG player profile. And there's David Williams, and he has been a huge factor tonight. That ball could not have been better thrown, I'm convinced, by Aaron Smith.
No, it was a perfect pass on Aaron Smith's part, and he showed great patience and waiting until David Williams got open, and then was able to find him, hit him right on the numbers, and over top of the defensive secondary. That's the kind of plays that gets Gateway back into this game.
Well, they're down 3. They've been in tight games. That's the advantage for them. Mckeesport hasn't been in a tight game since week 1, and really that one wasn't tight because, as the coach told us, North Hills came out and punched him in the mouth.
Well, the best thing they could have done, and some people said it was a no-win situation, they played Thomas Jefferson, the #1 team in Class AAA, in Week 7. They lost at home 10-7, but they were in a tight game. They were in a physical game, and they were in a game against a team that won the state championship, had all kinds of confidence. This is a Gateway team that's played 2 defending state champions this year, beat one and lost to the other, but they beat Benedictine in the 1st round. And they've also played a team that was ranked #1 at the start of the season in Woodland Hills. So you have to give Gateway credit for pretty much an unforgiving non-conference schedule.
McBride brings it out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Tigers now with a 3-point lead. So last time they had it, A mistake by the quarterback, Kopolovich, who's been very good tonight, but put the ball on the turf, and Gateway turns it into 6 points.
And you have to remember that Mckeesport does have a 3-point lead. There's no need to press the panic button, but you're going to see what kind of resiliency they have when they face a bit of adversity.
And the PPG realizes the commitments of high school students in unlocking their potential. Dan Kopolovich from Mckeesport, one such student, exemplifies his qualities. Tonight's PPG player profile, not only a quarterback, but ranks number 2 in his class, a member of the National Honor Society, and he is tonight's PPG player profile, and he gets rid of it late for McBride, who's got room. Travis McBride, that play looked like it was about to break down, Kevin, but they got good yardage out of it.
They did, and take another look here at Travis McBride. This guy really hasn't, we've been given glimpses of what he can do, but Kopolovich gets rid of that ball, and McBride turns that into a big play. Could have been very easily a couple of large yards on that play.
McBride 9 carries for 43 yards.
We mentioned briefly Kopolovich, all the different things he's involved with. This guy's also a volunteer at the food bank. He's a member. He plays the trumpet in the symphonic band, the school band. He's involved in so many different activities. He's just very impressive. What kind of a guy what kind of player he is, but also what he does off the field, how he finds time to be involved in so many activities and to excel in so many different things. He also plays football and basketball, and I believe he plays baseball as well. But track and field, he's a guy who's just, he makes the most of his time.
After a penalty, it moves him back to the 26. Kopolovich gets the yards back and more. Out to the 44-yard line for Kopolovich.
Kopolovich just once again making the quick decision and showing that burst. What's so impressive about this guy is his ability to make the decision, and then all of a sudden when he finds that seam, hit that hole and accelerate. Just watch him open up his stride and be able to get that first down and more sometimes.
Well, Kopolovich looking at some Ivy League schools, very intelligent. We alluded to that in the PPG player profile, but also you can talk about the Ivy League schools, you can talk about the MAC schools. What about Air Force and Navy? I mean, when you think of prominent teams in D1 that run this type of offense, Air Force and Navy come right to mind.
And he's well drilled in that offense, and you see how effective he is in the open field right now. But Kopolovich break inside the 20-yard line.
Kopolovich down to the 22 to be exact. And he has broken it open now on back-to-back running plays.
That one a 34-yarder for Kopolovich, and you've got to wonder, I would think that Navy and Air Force would be perfect spots for this guy, the way he runs that offense, that quarterback spot.
And that's the final play of the third quarter. Mckeesport has turned the tide back in their favor. The lead cut down to 3, but Kopolovich taking matters into his own hands.
Everybody's heart is normally supposed to be the same size, but you can't measure what's in the heart that drives a person to be successful.
In our first football game that we played his sophomore year, he ran for 6 touchdowns.
And they said, well, did you see this in high school? I said, yes, I did, and we all did. He had put in his mind that he wasn't going to let anybody stop him, tell him what he couldn't do. He was going to show him what he could do.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Intensity, delivered weekly on the Highmark High School Sports Practice, Sunday mornings at 9 on FSN.
Bledsoe and the Cowboys, Alexander and the Seahawks. Fox NFL Sunday this weekend in HD.
If you want to improve your sports IQ, tune in as Stan tackles the issues with the top figures in the sports world and takes your phone calls. Severin on Sports Beat on FSN Pittsburgh.
You cheer every play, every first down, every end zone celebration. You bust your tonsils play after play and scream and shout like you've got a 260-pound linebacker on your tail. Then throw down a cold as ice Coke and get right back at it. Why? Because you can. Because you have to. Coca-Cola Football Town, USA.
the new, intimidating Mitsubishi Raider. Available 230 horse V8 and the most towing capacity in its class. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
High School Football Thursday on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Now you know. Call 1-800-909-TRIB to subscribe. By Highmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health. By California University of Pennsylvania. Building character, building careers. And by Nike, just do it. 12 minutes to play. 20-17. Back down to Trenny.
All right, guys, it's the fourth quarter, which means it's time for the Coca-Cola fan of the game. This one coming from Mckeesport. It's Dan Foster here. He's a senior at Mckeesport. He is the T in the Tigers in the third row of the stands. He has a cowbell that he rings all the time. Well, he made his mark because he is our Coca-Cola fan of the game. He'll win $100 in Coca-Cola prizes. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
Not a bad deal. Mckeesport with a 3-point lead as we start the fourth. And this is McBride. And he gets pushed backwards and thrown to the turf.
You see a swarm of white jerseys led once again by Jordan Stevens, number 71. But they sniffed that play out and didn't fall for the fake that Kopolovich tried to sell them on. But Stevens did a great job of standing McBride up and driving him backwards, and a big stop for the Gateway Gators.
And we talked about McBride, the big playmaker on this offense. Some of the schools looking at him: Cincinnati, Louisville, NC State, Iowa, West Virginia, perhaps.
He's got his choice. He's going to have a pick of some really big-time schools, although my belief is that he'll end up on defense as well as he's played tonight.
They go for inside the 5, and it's broken up, and a penalty flag. We got pass interference coming up. That was McBride leaking out of the backfield.
That flag appears to be against Bill Binion. We talked about him playing outside linebacker with Joe Martin's absence. They had to move Binion to outside linebacker and move Livesey, who'd been playing outside backer, back to safety.
Pass interference on the defense, half the distance, first down.
So interference against Binion, and talked about it. They had to switch some things up on defense with Martin out and Binion's in there.
And at first glance, it appeared that Binion used his right forearm to bat that ball away, but what you didn't see and what the referee did was that he had his left arm on the back, grabbing onto the jersey of the receiver, intended receiver at least, and that was something that was caught by the official, who was in the right place. Good job by him for catching that indiscretion.
And a penalty flag again on 1st and 10 from the 11. They can get a first down before the end zone.
Start on the center. Prior to snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Those are the kind of calls that burn up a coach, especially one like George Smith, who's all about precision and efficiency and effectiveness. Take advantage of another team's mistakes to come right back out and get a 5-yard penalty is exactly what he didn't want to see his Tigers do.
6 penalties, 45 for Gateway. Mckeesport 9 for 60. 1st and 15. This is Warren Waite tucking up inside and down to the 14-yard line. Warren Waite, we haven't called his name much here tonight.
No, Warren Waite is also a guy we mentioned earlier. He's been a big play back when he gets his moment. But you've got to give Gateway credit to really tighten up their defense inside this territory and done a nice job of stopping Mckeesport. Especially when they're trying to do the misdirection, and you're seeing a lot of fake handoffs, a lot of tucks, and they've done a good job of sniffing out who has the ball, finding the ball carrier, and getting to him.
Gateway defense kind of fun to watch out of that 3-5 alignment. 2nd down and 8, Kopolovich. And he's inside the 10 to the 9 before Dan Lohide brought him down.
And that's what that 3-5 gives them. 3 guys up front and 5 linebackers to roam the field, and that's what you're going to see. The linebackers are the guys who are the playmakers, and you see Lohide, the pit recruit, come up and make a big shot, deliver a blow that sends Kopolovich on his back that play.
You talked about Jordan Stevens being a team guy on offense because he moved from tight end to tackle. What about on defense? He plays defensive end in a 3-5. I mean, they're just supposed to clog up holes and allow the linebackers to make all the nice plays. So he does it for the team on both sides. Here's Waite on the pitch out. Cuts it inside and into the end zone. Touchdown, Mckeesport.
Well, that's the 6th touchdown of the year for Warren Waite. We talked about this guy. 15.4 yards a carry coming into this game, and he showed why. You know, that play, you're going to see them fake the inside handoff once again, and the pitch outside wide to Waite, who just gets outside that defense. You saw the Gateway defense they're over pursued inside, and to the outside, he had all kinds of room to run, and just makes a little dive over the goal line and gets into that end zone. Give Mckeesport, give them a little more cushion on that lead.
As soon as we started talking about that 3-5 alignment, it didn't work out for the Gateway defense. Didn't have an answer for Waite. The kick is up, and that kick is good. 27-17, home team back on top by 10 points, 9:51 left in the game.
Introducing Trib Total Media. We're more than daily and weekly newspapers. We're also radio, websites, magazines, penny savers, and television. So whatever you want, you can get it from us. Trib Total Media. We deliver newspapers and more.
Morning! What a day it's been already. I got up very...
Barb's a natural morning person. For me, morning's about as natural as my hair color.
Do you scrapbook?
No, but I found a way to get through.
Ooh, McDonald's. I could really use some coffee.
Decaf, I hope.
And I thought,
Get going with McDonald's. From McGriddles, McMuffin sandwiches, to delicious breakfast platters, no one has more breakfast choices.
Have a great day, and you have a great day too.
Fourth quarter. Early on in the final period, Mckeesport by 10 after the touchdown run by Warren Waite. Gateway needs some scoring in a hurry. One guy we haven't seen much of is John Ditto, a former wide receiver and now a tight end. And Ditto, Kevin, came into this game with 25 catches for 473 yards and 5 touchdowns. Haven't called his name much.
No, he's averaging 19 yards a catch, but he's only had 2 catches for 20 yards tonight. He's a guy that maybe you'll see on this drive, so they can get the ball to him. But I think teams are well aware of what he can do.
David Williams, a nice return after the 36, shedding tacklers and doing a good job of that. DVDs of tonight's McDonald's High School Football Thursday game and all games from our 2005 season coverage are available at www.gametapes.com for just $19.99 each.
Well, one of the things that when you have a guy with such speed like David Williams, he's so tantalizing that it's hard to kind of overlook a guy like Ditto. But Gateway, with Ditto, sometimes lining up a tight end, sometimes splitting wide at receiver. He's a guy they really need to get involved in this offense, and he's a guy you're going to see him on the seam routes, and don't be surprised if he's running, a post or a skinny post. Look for Ditto over the course of the middle of the field.
Screen pass doesn't work, and that's a loose ball and a live ball. Gateway falls on it. Well, that was definitely not a forward pass, and Gateway very, very fortunate to not turn it over deep in their own territory.
Yeah, when you throw a ball behind the play like that, it's considered a lateral, and it's actually like a run play. So that ball was live, and Becoate had a chance for a fumble there. That would not have been an incomplete pass, but rather a fumble.
Well, perhaps David Williams was going to catch that and then throw it. The senior has a pretty good arm. Second down and 20. Smith steps up, far side, it's picked off. McBride has it. Costly turnover, back to Mckeesport.
Well, we've been waiting all night for Travis McBride to make a big play, and he comes up with the interception. It's on defense, and we said to you, this is a guy who has his reputation on offense, but what a great defensive player he is, and he just sits back on this pass. Aaron Smith overthrows his receiver. It looks like there's a little miscommunication because he was trying to throw the ball, ended up in the middle between 2 guys, and McBride was more than happy to be sitting there waiting for that ball to come right to him.
Check it out from another angle, and that was just poorly thrown pass that time, unless one of his receivers broke off the route. So Gateway calls on its defense once again. They're down 10. Football at the 33. Handoff up the gut. Down to the 30-yard line, Anthony Leonard picks up 3.
And now we're going to see Gateway. We're going to see what their defense is all about. This is right now where they need another big stop. They came up with one earlier in this, late in the third quarter, where they were able to get a fumble, take that in, score a touchdown, make this a 3-point game. Now they're once again down by 10 points. They need to come up with a stop and keep Mckeesport from putting a bigger margin on that lead, because this is a game 8.5 minutes remaining. Gateway doesn't have time on its side to make much more of than a 10-point comeback.
On second down, the pitch out. McBride, open field inside the 20, shedding tackle inside the 10, inside the goal line. Touchdown, and the Tigers are pouring it on.
So Travis McBride, we talked about the big-time players. They got to respond to big games. Right now in this fourth quarter, Travis McBride has been the biggest player on the field. He's really showed it with the big defensive play on the interception, and then on the first play he answers. You're going to see Brandon Lipsey to the left outside of your screen is supposed to be covering the pitch man. He goes after the quarterback, and Kopolovich makes him pay by tossing it to McBride, who eludes a couple tacklers and then gets himself into the end zone. And that's a big play for Mckeesport, because now they have a chance to go up by 17 points.
Chase Martin on for the extra point. This stadium is in a frenzy. And that one, it's blocked. So they can't make it a 17-point game, but they'll settle for a 16-point lead with 8:17 left in the fourth. And Mckeesport up 33-17. Quarterback got rid of it just in the nick of time. McBride did the rest, and he's into the end zone.
I'm a food truck man, that's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries, I don't compromise. Ain't no doubt my king of the mountain built Ford truck.
If you've had your eye on a dependable Ford SUV, now's the time to buy. Because with bonus cash, you'll get $2,500 cash back. Yeah, $2,500 cash back on the new completely redesigned 2006 Explorer, featuring first-in-class roll stability control and the class exclusive intelligent safety system standard.
Visit your neighborhood Ford store today.
Have you made the O part of your life? At Overstock.com, you can find anything you need for everything you do. You'll save on home furnishings for every room in your house, jewelry, books, videos, music, and more, with a low flat rate shipping fee and live customer service 24/7. Overstock.com also has the easiest to use auctions and a travel department, because everyone deserves a vacation. Make the O part of your life. Overstock.com. It's all about the O.
11 plays here running this second half, and what a job by the Mckeesport offense in the time that they have had the football here in the second half. 16-point lead, 30-yard touchdown by Travis McBride has kind of blown this thing open a little bit, Kevin.
Well, after that loss to North Hills in the first game of the season, Mckeesport's stock really plummeted, and they had to earn their way back with 6 consecutive victories. But one of the keys of that has been the offensive line, unheralded. They've got a bunch of guys 5'10", 220, 230 pounds, but they've really come on strong, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, and they're giving this Mckeesport Tiger offense a lot of room to run.
And the return out to the 30-yard line for Gateway, so they'll have pretty good field position. McBride with 11 carries for 73 yards. Went in moments ago. So 8:08 left. And Gateway needs some quick offense here.
You have to expect Gateway to come out in that spread attack and look for Aaron Smith to start throwing the ball downfield. You know, they're throwing a lot of passes underneath the coverage, but they're going to have to stretch this field and try to look for Ditto and Williams over the middle of the field and see if they can come up with a big play, because they're going to need to score some points and do it fast.
First and 10 at the 30. Smith to the sideline. Pass is caught and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Pass play complete to Corey Bradley.
And it's really funny how Gateway's receivers all kind of have a certain purpose in this offense. Bradley is the guy who they find on the comeback routes. Williams, as we've seen, on the corner routes, and Ditto in the seam. So those guys, it's almost like they have their designed type of plays that they're going to be looking for them, but it makes Aaron Smith's job a lot easier, because he knows that, considering the circumstances, which guy he's really going to be looking for.
Haven't heard much from Ditto. A good time for them to get the football in his hands. Second down and 4. over the middle. Pass, too tall for Charles King out there. He's 5'8". If he was 6'8", that would have been perfect.
Well, so Aaron Smith seems like he's losing a little bit of patience, and that's the one thing, they haven't been able to just wait and sit back and let the play develop. He tried to force something to happen on that play, and you saw him throw that ball hard and high and over his receiver's head. But, some of those guys were still running their routes at the time, and you got to kind of wonder if Aaron Smith would be best served to sit back. I know he's trying to press and score some points, but he's best served to sit back and let the play develop.
3rd and 4. Smith operates out of the gun. Rolls out under pressure. Gets away from one man. Smith throws too high at the sideline. That pass is picked off. A turnover back to the Tigers. Not what quarterback Aaron Smith needed there. Did a good job to get out of the grasp of a few defenders and buy himself some time. But the turnover back to Mckeesport.
You've got to wonder whether Smith was trying to throw the ball out of bounds because he threw it to his smallest receiver very high, and he threw it on the run, so that might have had something to do with it. But I believe it was Doiley that came down with that, and that's his 4th interception of the year. He's been one of the top cornerbacks in the Whippeal. He's not a very big guy, only about 5'8", but very quick, and does a great job in coverage.
Caught it off the tip ball. 16-point lead, 7:47 in the game. Up the gut, and that's Leonard. Dragging tacklers down to the 36. Let's head back down to the sidelines. Trenny.
Well, guys, Kevin mentioned it earlier. Anthony Leonard really is the emotional leader for Mckeesport. Early in the year, he suffered from severe dehydration, but since the linebacker/fullback has really become a catalyst on both offense and defense, and as for his emotions, you can see it when he's out here on the field. He's jumping up and down, talking to the guys. His head coach, George Smith, told me that he's the kind of guy that before, after, during the games is in guys' faces, talking to them and getting them ready to play, guys.
All right, Trenny, thanks. 2nd and 3. And that one up the cut once again. Working his way forward is Leonard. He is relentless, and kind of like Jerome Bettis, he always seems to fall forward.
He did a nice job on that play of fighting for the extra yards, picking up the 1st down, and really forcing Gateway to gang tackle him to stop him on that play.
Again, the clock stops in high school football when you get a 1st down. Now they'll rewind it.
We're under 7 minutes here. And time is certainly not on Gateway's side, especially when they have back-to-back interceptions on their last 2 possessions. Last time Mckeesport made them pay for it with a touchdown run by McBride.
And it's McBride again inside the 25 to the 24, and they seem to be wearing down the Gator defense at this point.
Well, this is one of the things, Gateway down 16 points. It's only a matter of 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, but at the same time, they realize that they've had to play deep in their own territory, stop a couple drives, and it's something when their defense is on the field that much and that close together. They haven't been able to sustain an offensive drive. The defense looks like it's a little worn out right now. Not playing with quite the same fire it was a few minutes ago.
2nd and 2 at the 23. Kopolovich, and nothing there as he gets pushed backwards and thrown down.
One of the guys in on that tackle is Vito Latronica.
You got to it first.
Well, Vito Latronica, 5'6", 167-pound junior, and he's a guy, he's not very big, but he's all heart. And I talked to Terry Smith about him. He said he's so tiny you can't see him in the huddle, but he's got a heart of gold. And if you see what someone his size, he shouldn't be where he's at, but this guy gets it done. That's why he's on the field.
I have my notes here: tiny, comma, but heart of gold. I think I borrowed my notes from yours. Made a nice hit there. This one blown dead. And another dead ball infraction. I'm surprised, Kevin. We've seen a lot of dead ball penalties for this late in the season, in my opinion.
They really have, and the officials are.
Fire snap. False start. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I think the officials are trying to keep this game as much in control as they can, not let this one get out of hand. But at the same time, we're slowing this game down as much as you can, but with all these yellow flags laying all over the field.
Gateway with only 5 offensive plays in the 4th quarter. I haven't seen much of their offense. A couple of very costly turnovers. 3rd and 7. Kopolovich escapes one tackle. Inside the 10. Going for the pylon. And he's right down near the goal line. They knock him out at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal upcoming.
Well, Kopolovich had one man to beat, and it was David Williams who takes his legs out from under him. But Kopolovich's legs have kind of taken Gateway's legs out from under them, the way he's been able to run that ball. And you see, once again, another misdirection, and Kopolovich keeping and going to the outside. It seems like this guy...
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, spotted a foul. Did he get in?
And there you have holding coming back, so...
It seems like Kopolovich is one of those guys, the closer he gets to the end zone, the faster he's running. It seems, you know, when he gets into that open field, he knows how to pick it up a step. And I would say he's probably not got a great 40-yard time, but on his 40-yard time, I would say his last 10 to 20 yards would probably be much faster than his first 10 to 20. And sometimes that's a nice thing when you have a guy who can accelerate as he's out there running. He doesn't slow down. He picks up speed.
So that one is costly there instead of 1st and goal. The penalty moves it back. The 31-yard line. 3rd down and 10 for the Tigers. A double wing and the one back. Wait the motion man. Kopolovich tucks inside the 25 for the 23-yard line. So he gets 8 of them back. 4th down now coming up for the Tigers. And Coach Gorman, what do you do here?
Well, you've got to hope for another turnover is what you got to do if you're Gateway. They've already had a couple breaks, but you know, this is where Mckeesport's in ball control phase right now. They don't want to have a turnover. Putting more points on the board isn't really going to be a big difference. They already have a 16-point lead. What they want to do is keep that ball out of Gateway's hands, and they've done a fine job of it so far.
4th and 2, and they go for it. Handoff. McBride, open field. He's in. It's as easy as that on 4th down for Travis McBride.
And this is where Mckeesport has been able to fool people. Travis McBride, at 6'2", 195 pounds, has the size of a tailback or wingback, but he lined up at fullback in this offense, takes the dive, and then just gets into that open field and outruns everybody. And I think Gateway was really fooled by how you're not going to see anybody going after McBride. They're all looking for the pitch man. McBride just squirts through the middle there and has plenty of room to run. Great call by George Smith, and it's something that he did. The first game of the season, they were losing big to North Hills. I believe the final was 31-7, and they put McBride at fullback with Leonard out of the game, and they were able to score a touchdown that way, and it's something that I think that flexibility with a guy like McBride, who's not only big and fast, but also powerful, and can take a play like that and turn it into 6 points.
Well, Mckeesport came into the game averaging 46 points a contest, best in Quad A in the Whitfield. And they've got 40 to this point. 8 plays, 43 yards on that scoring drive, 336. And the touchdown for McBride of 23 yards. So the Quad Southwest Conference Championship up for grabs tonight. And right now it looks like the Tigers are going to take it home here tonight convincingly.
And I would think that because there's only 3 conferences in the Quad A, that Mckeesport should, with this such a convincing victory in the final game of the regular season, should be able to clinch the number 3 spot. But tomorrow night's game, which we have televised here on FSN, with Woodland Hills and Penn Hills, could determine either 3rd or 4th spot. The winner of the Woodland Hills-Penn Hills game will finish 2nd in the Quad East, but both teams have only 1 loss each. And Woodland Hills was ranked number 1 before their loss to Gateway. So Woodland Hills could conceivably finish, if they beat Penn Hills, the winner of that game could finish the number 3 seed, and the number 4 seed would go to the winner of this conference championship. But I would think because of this such a great performance on Mckeesport's part, that they probably should clinch that number 3 seed. That's what that'd be my take on this, is that they probably deserve to be the number 3 seed after this victory.
Sadler takes the kickoff. Across the 30. And he takes it out to the 40-yard line. Good return by Cameron Sadler. Gateway with 4:02 to go in the game. We'll have to put it up here.
In Gateway, I would think that they might have a chance at the number 6 seed, but most likely would probably get number 7 seed. And that's, the lower the seed, the higher the seeded opponent you're going to play. And so that not only makes for a tougher first round game, But the second round game, and Terry Smith has told me the quarterfinal matchups this year are going to be outstanding because Quad A is wide open and there's 8 or 9 good teams. So Gateway's now going to have to play a pretty tough second round game.
Smith under duress and throws it away. A late penalty flag. It sits right beside Smith. Lohide is slow to get up.
Lohide's a guy who has played with some injuries. He's had...
Catching and grounding on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Loss it down. Second down.
So not only does Smith, as you get back to Lohide here in a moment, get drilled on the play, also a penalty. Loses the down.
Yeah, so basically, you know, when things go bad, they're really going bad fast, going south fast for Gateway. But you're going to see Smith, you know, under pressure, tries to get rid of the ball, but just doesn't throw it near any receivers, and it was a very intentional grounding, lived up to the penalty's name, but he really didn't throw it in the vicinity of any of his receivers. And to double it up, Lohide, who's been injured all season, gets banged up on that play as well.
Livesey is tackled by number 7, who's been all over the field tonight. Anthony Leonard takes him down right around the 28-yard line. Well, Leonard is, he's got a future in front of him. I would think some college out there is really going to be able to use his services. He's got good size and a good nose for the football.
Well, that college is West Virginia. He committed in the summer, and he's a guy who, you know, wasn't really on the map big name-wise. You know, Pitt took a couple linebackers, Lohide, Greg Webster, Woodland Hills, Nate Nix of Thomas Jefferson, all outstanding backers. And here's a guy who was one of the leftovers of many good backers, one of our top 10 in the WPIAL this year. And West Virginia took a shot at him, and he's a great athlete, and I think they have big plans for him to come down there and make big things happen for them. But he's a guy who's just had an outstanding game. You know, he's looked forward to this exposure and said, hey, make sure you people remember that I'm one of the best backers in the WPIAL as well.
Last pass incomplete to David Williams, who's had a nice night but couldn't hold on to that one. 3:08 to go, 40-17. Mckeesport tries to win the conference crown after Gateway won it the last 3 years. 4th down and 22. One final hope, probably, for Gateway. Smith, deep near side, and it's nearly picked off by Robert Doiley, and Gateway turns it over on downs.
Well, it's hard for Aaron Smith to throw the ball. As you're seeing, a couple of these passes have been been intercepted. A couple of them have been intercepted. It's hard to throw it when you're flying on your back or throwing off your back foot, and Aaron Smith just has not had the time to really set himself up and make some good passes, because we saw early in the game when he did have that time, he throws the ball right on the money, but he's been under pressure all second half, and he's really had a rough night. I just wonder, you know, I've told Terry Smith a couple of times, imagine if you had a guy who was a pure quarterback and you could put Aaron Smith out wide with David Williams and John Ditto and the guys that you have and pair him up. Imagine how dangerous this offense could be if he could play his natural position. But Aaron Smith has done a fine job this year as the starting quarterback for Gateway.
Here's Leonard, the WVU recruit, down to the 20-yard line. Well, our Mckeesport McDonald's player of the game is the quarterback, Dan Kopolovich. 18 carries for 175 and 2 scores. How about his night?
Well, he's been nothing short of spectacular. What a great game by Kopolovich, who, you know, the onus was on him to get this game rolling, and he did a fantastic job right off the bat.
He's thrown the ball sparingly, but he's been successful when he has put it in the air. With a touchdown pass in the first half. Under 2.5 to go in the game. Tigers a 40-17 lead. And they keep it in the hands of Leonard, who gets out of there somehow and cruises into the end zone for the touchdown.
Anthony Leonard on any other night could have been the player of the game, because he's just been outstanding. I really think he set the tone in the first quarter with a couple big carries, and just has continued to pile it on here late in the fourth quarter. This guy has a never-say-die attitude, and we've talked about him being the fiery, emotional leader. But look how hard he's playing with the game in the bag. It's under wraps, and you're going to see Anthony Leonard just break through this hole and just fight for extra yardage. And when the defense doesn't even realize, you know, they're still blocking up front, defense doesn't even realize he's through. But he's going to start the celebration a little early, 2 minutes, 13 seconds left, and he's helped put this one away.
Extra point good, so Mckeesport now 1 point over their average for the season in points. And you take another look at Leonard.
Leonard just fighting through that defense, and I don't know that they realized he had the ball because it didn't seem like anybody was trying to tackle him. But once he got through there, it was all the way to the end zone. And big salute to Anthony Leonard. He just saluted to the flag, and he's having fun out there tonight.
Who wouldn't be? 47-17, and if you look at Terry Smith on the other sideline, I mean, they've had a fantastic season, and they could still be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs, but there's no doubt this is a deflating loss. You come in here and get blown out like this.
It really is, and it's something that, they've had 2 losses in 3 weeks with. You talk about the Thomas Jefferson loss, but I think the one thing they can look back and say is they didn't have Joe Martin. He's been an explosive element of their offense the last couple of weeks, back-to-back 100-yard games. He's out. They saved him for the playoffs, so he's a guy who most likely will be healthy when the first round comes around next week. And I think there was something missing tonight. Obviously, Joe Martin was a big part of it, but Gateway's got to regroup and say, they started the season number 2 in our rankings, and some people thought they might even been the best team, and 3 losses in 9 games isn't necessarily the way they wanted to play this year. But they still have a chance, and this is a wide-open quad A. I really believe that any team on a given night can beat the other, and Gateway still has a chance. But right now, Gateway is heading, or Mckeesport is heading into those playoffs with a full head of steam, looking like one of the teams to beat.
Sadler takes it, and he gets taken down. 21-yard line. Gateway gets it back here with 2:07 to play, trailing 47-17. So do you keep Smith in there?
Well, as far as I know, the backup quarterback for Gateway is David Williams. So basically, if you're taking out Smith, you're going to put David Williams in as and Smith is out there right now. Yeah. But if you took him out, you're still leaving one of your starters in the game. So it really doesn't make much sense, because the worst thing that could happen right there is if Williams were to get hurt or to have a turnover and they score another touchdown. So right now you stick with the guy that has been playing the position all season.
Handoff to 32. And he gets a couple of yards on a first down. John Nemec, a fullback, a junior, 202. Take a look at our McDonald's player of the game from the Gateway side. It's David Williams, 3 catches for 120. And 2 touchdowns. Some big plays for Williams tonight, as has been the case with him all season long.
And he really electrified the game with that 82-yard touchdown catch. That's what he's been able to do all season. 6 touchdowns of 60 yards or more. He's a very exciting player, one of the big game breakers in WPIL. But Mckeesport, outside of that play, did a very nice job of containing him. Really, basically 2 catches for 40 yards. One of them was a touchdown, quick touchdown. But they did not let him dictate this game.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And to add insult to injury, a substitution penalty and 5 yards. Moves Gateway back even further with a minute and a half to go. And if you're Terry Smith at this point, maybe you just want to get in out of the cold, drink some hot chocolate or something.
Just put this game in the rearview mirror and forget about it as quickly as soon as it's over. And I think we can start looking forward to tomorrow night's game over at UHAS McGinley Stadium in Penn Hills, where it's going to be a great one. Woodland Hills and Penn Hills, one of the best rivalries in Quad A, and should be an exciting game with a lot of talent on the field.
Give to Sadler, the 25, before he's ushered out. Oh boy, and Craig Wolfley will be there as well on the sideline. 3 members of tonight's team, as well as Craig. We'll be calling that game at 7:30. Again, it's not our usual 7 o'clock start time. 7:30, a special edition of McDonald's High School Football Thursday. It's on Friday this week, Woodland Hills and Penn Hills. And it's not for the conference crown. That one goes to a team by the name of Central Catholic, but still for a lot as far as playoff seeding and bragging rights, if nothing else. A couple of coaches that have known each other for a long, long time, George Novak and Neil Gordon.
And 2 of the best, 2 of the best. George Novak has over 200 victories, Neil Gordon over 130. Chance for these teams to really position themselves in the playoffs. One of those teams will likely get a top 4 seed, possibly even the number 3 seed. It's going to be either Woodland Hills, Penn Hills, or Mckeesport is my guess. And I think it should be another exciting game. We're going to see a lot of talent on one field again, a lot of Division I prospects. So looking forward to tomorrow night.
The clock runs out. 47-17 is the final, and the Quad Southwest Championship goes to the Mckeesport Tigers.
You see that Tiger celebration. They've had a couple hard luck losses in Week 9 the past 2 seasons. Last year at Gateway 21-9. The year before to Upper St. Clair on a touchdown pass to a guy that name might ring a bell. Sean Lee caught a touchdown pass with, I believe, 11 seconds remaining, and Mckeesport had a nice kick return but missed a field goal as time expired. So it's nice for the Mckeesport Tigers to end the season with a victory, and a convincing one at that.
They improved to 7-1, and they finished the conference portion of the schedule at 6-0, and they take home the crown. And you talked about it convincingly, 47-17. And now if you're Gateway, you just gear up for the playoffs and completely try to put it behind you and get Joe Martin healthy.
That's for sure. And, Gateway still has a very nice team. Not quite as dominant as we expected, but still a lot of talent. And if they can put it together and play together for 4 quarters, they've shown spurts. But Terry Smith alluded to that at halftime. They haven't been consistent. They still have a chance. And Mckeesport right now is going into those playoffs looking like one of the top teams. And I think they sent a nice message out to the Whitfield Steering Committee, the football steering committee that's going to put those playoff pairings together, which will be released Monday night. I think George Smith and his team sent a message to that pairings, the selection committee, and said, I think we deserve to be one of the top 3 seeds.
What impressed you most about the Tigers here tonight?
I was really impressed with the diversity of their offense. This is not a one-dimensional offense, even though it is a run-oriented offense. But Dan Kopolovich rushes for 175 yards. You saw Travis McBride get in the end zone a couple times. Anthony Leonard was outstanding at fullback. And when they needed to, when the game got close, they were able to pass the ball. A big pass to Becoate over the middle for a first down, and then the touchdown pass to Doiley. This is an offense that's very dangerous in so many different ways. They spread the ball around, and Kopolovich looks like he has this offense just clicking, and they're so efficient and effective right now. A very impressive, kind of reminds you of the Cecil Howard days when Mckeesport made that run to the Whitfield Championship game in 1999.
Now, do we see some problems with the Gateway defense going forward, or was this a one-time thing?
Well, I think they've been shuffling so many times. I just don't know if this Gateway defense is really comfortable right now. So many guys have been playing different positions. It doesn't look like they have one dominant defender, although Jordan Stevens, I thought, was outstanding tonight. Brandon Livesey's a very good player, but it doesn't seem like this defense is quite as emotional as it was last season, not nearly as dominant, and that's something that Gateway has to find what's wrong and fix it in a hurry.
All right, Trenny Kuznarek down on the sideline. Trenny?
Well, guys, our player of the game is Dan Kopolovich, but he came over and asked me and said, I'm not doing this without my offensive line. I'm assuming that you want to give all the credit to your success tonight to these guys standing here with you.
Yeah, they played a heck of a game. Them and the backs, they ran hard, and we came out with a win.
How big is this win? Obviously, you win the section title, but most importantly, you're probably going to put yourself in a pretty good place for the Whitfield playoffs.
Well, momentum is very important, especially when it comes to the playoffs, and I think this win helped us build up some momentum. Hopefully we'll run over into the playoffs.
And how about your defense tonight? Your defense played spectacular.
Oh, yeah. They always do. They put us in good field position. We were able to run with it.
All right. Thank you very much. Congratulations, guys. Best of luck in the players. Back up now to Brent and Kevin.
Trenny, thanks a lot. So the conference championship goes to the Mckeesport Tigers. 47-17 is the final. For Trenny Kuznarek and Kevin Gorman, I'm Brent Stover saying so long from Mckeesport High School. 47-17 is the final score. Join us tomorrow night for a special edition, Penn Hills and Woodland Hills. The best damn sports show period coming up next.